It's crazy party. Welcome to the BBR podcast. I'm doing like a pirate now. I can't really
Yeah.
keep the.
Yeah,
What
that
Oh,
transitioned
hello
really
there,
quickly to
laddie.
pirate.
I'm
when
Paddy. I'm.
Avast, yar.
I'm sure
I,
there's I'm sure there's
it's hard to stay
Irish
in that one.
I'm sure there's Irish pirates.
I'm sure there are.
Sounds like a band name. The
Irish
Irish
pirate.
Pirates.
Oh, hello there, laddie. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter.
Hoy,
It
hoy, hoy.
it be my booty.
It'd be the BBR podcast, don't you know? Yeah, I guess when this comes out, it'll be a couple days after St. Patrick's Day. So, happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm not Irish, so I don't know what that holiday is about. I don't. Well, yeah, I don't know what this. I don't know what St. Patrick did. He's a saint.
Go green.
I don't know.
He drove the snakes out of Ireland.
The snakes.
Yeah.
What were they doing? Biting people?
I don't know. They're always a nuisance, aren't they?
I don't know, dude. Ain't
Eating
no snakes where I live.
eating all their potatoes.
Well, you're not in Ireland.
Right, that's the famine. I remember the famine. Very good. Yes, it's all very clever banter. I know, hilarious. It's hilarious. Everyone's laughing their heads off right now. They're going, "Oh my God, it's my favorite podcast so funny."
I thought they were just oinking.
They're just oinking. They're all like going. Oink, 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 oink.
Sounds like the
They're all
Psycho
oinking with
soundtrack.
slop on their faces, like shit in their mouth.
Literal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
literal
was
shit.
that was me when the Terminus episode just uploaded today. So
They uploaded an episode today.
yeah,
What's it about?
I didn't see that. What is it? This is a rarity now. They like never upload anymore.
yeah, it's been a couple months.
Yeah, so it's a treat. What is it? What's the theme?
Let me see. It's
I want you to write
The evolution of the evolution of techno.
it's pulling up the title here. Episode 177, The Sexiest Rockers of 95, Danzig and Typo Negative, Part 1.
All right then.
not particularly exciting for me. I'm not really super
I mean,
into
Oh, you get to go
When they
through some Misfits, Carnivore, Samhain.
I like Carnivore and I like the Misfits. Danzig, I like probably a handful of songs, and same with Typo Negative, handful of songs. I'm just not the hugest fan
Yeah,
of
I think it might
stuff.
be.
when Paul started that they were talking about the sexiest something, I just immediately thought they were even talking about us, but I mean, that's not.
Ah, that's good too. That's good too. You're the king, Fred. We were
Maybe,
messaging.
You're the
Paul.
king.
Maybe
I was like, we're basically the kings of the metal podcast world at this point. Aren't we?
maybe 2025, but not 95.
Yeah. So as far as the metal podcast world goes, at the top, as far as the kings go, what do you have? Jub, and then you have the Vinlander. Then you got us.
MOD, forgot.
Who's MOD? Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
I don't really follow him. He's too hard to like. I can respect that guy a little bit, and I kind of like him, but it's hard to watch any of his stuff. He just seems to kind of regurgitate Wikipedia crap.
Yeah, I was
And
just.
I was telling Julian too. I'm like this. I caught a video of his that was like his favorite Funeral Doom albums, and it seems like he just went on Bandcamp and like found the most recent stuff, and it's all just like a bunch of crap with like bad art. And it's like, what are you listening to? You remember we were talking about this not that long ago? We're talking about like these thrash guys who will like listen to the most modern thrash albums, and it's just all like absolute slop. It could be AI.
Yeah.
It's that kind of music. It's like metal music that has sort of, I don't know, it just forgot itself. It forgot its soul at the door or something.
Disappointing.
Yeah, well, that's just the way it is. Well, that's good that Terminus is back for a minute.
I've grown in appreciation of Typo Negative. For the longest time, I didn't care about them, and then for whatever reason, one day, I'm pretty sure it's because of Beavis and Butthead. I was watching Beavis and Butthead, and there was an episode where they watched Black Number One, and obviously Beavis and Butthead are amazing, but
Right.
I was listening to the song as they're talking about it. I'm like, you know what? I kind of dig this. And I picked up Bloody Kisses, and yeah, it's not a band I feel the urge to listen to a lot. Like, Bloody Kisses is still the only album I have from them. And I've heard the other ones. I like them
That's
too.
is that the first one, Bloody Kisses?
No, it's a third, I think.
Okay. First one's the most metal, if I remember. That's like green.
Yeah, it was basically like a third Carnivore album, from what I remember.
Yeah,
But
I think it'd be
no.
interesting to hear those guys dive into like musicians' careers, and how they contextualize stuff is always great. So I'm looking forward to something kind of newer from them. So that's cool.
Yeah. That should be good.
So I'll probably listen to that tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Got to put my thinking cap on, and should be good. It's usually off all the time.
Yeah. You never put your thinking cap on. It's like, where's my thinking cap? I can't find... Mom, have you seen my thinking cap?
Oh, Matt, never mind. I'm sitting on it.
I'm sitting on my thinking cap. It's got shit all over it.
If you're sitting on your thinking cap, does that make you a smartass?
Yes.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's okay.
That was a layup right there. That was good.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Pretty good, Fred. Not too bad.
I'm on a roll today.
Yeah.
You
That
ruled
ends
today.
here.
I think when I was initially watching Beavis and Butthead, like, religiously, I was still in middle school, and at that point I really didn't know basically like what death metal was. And so I think a lot of the earliest stuff that I saw was from Beavis and Butthead. I don't think I really discovered anything, but I definitely saw that stuff. Like, there was a Morbid Angel. They did Goddess of Emptiness, and then David Vincent like does a roar, and Butthead's like, whoa, is that a bear? And he said there was a Napalm Death video where he said something about Barney Greenway's voice. He's like, it doesn't look like that voice would come out of that guy. He's like, it looks like it would come out of his butt. I think he said something about Crowbar too. He's like, this is music you take a dump to.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
True.
Yeah,
I remember one of them.
Sometimes
I remember when they were
think about that,
watching
like,
Creep from Radiohead. And, like,
Right.
during the verses, they're like, this sucks. And then they'd start the chorus, which is obviously where the guitars come in. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is good. And then it goes back to the verses, like, oh, this sucks again.
I think one of my favorite music videos that they reacted to was I think the band was called the Bubble Men, and it like scared. Oh yeah, it's B&B and the Bubble Men, and it has these like, if you look it up on YouTube, you can see it. The first one, like, you can see the sort of thumbnail moving around, and it's like these dudes in these big-headed costumes. I remember it scared Beavis, and he was like begging Butthead to change the channel because it was too scary.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember that one being it's specifically nostalgic for me, the Bubble Men music video. And also the Whale music video. I think I've shown everyone that music video, Paul. The one with that chick with the braces. It was called the Hobo Humpin' Slowbo Babe.
Yeah, I think I remember.
That's a good song. That's a Beavis and Butthead discovery. I don't think anybody's ever heard this besides on Beavis and Butthead. So, you can discover some stuff like that. I wanted to give a quick shout out to it was this one dude's birthday, Rob Alanis from Evil Dead. I believe he played the drums. Kind of interesting. Dude played the drums in Evil Dead. Was also in Noctuary, which is a black metal band
cool.
from our neck of the woods, and Creed.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty good connections there.
Guy's a true metalist.
I never spent a ton of time with Noctuary.
Really good.
First album is cool. I've been meaning to check out the second one. That seems like it would be up your alley, Fred. If you like Krieg, and I know you like all that weird American black metal, I think Noctuary would be for you.
Okay. It's funny
So-
because when I was I used to see copies of For Salvation all the time, everywhere, for like dirt cheap, and I just assumed it wasn't good because it was everywhere, really cheap. So I never picked it up,
That's
and
the
kind of
first
just,
record.
yeah, the one with the
Or
skeleton on
Salvation.
a.
Yeah, that's a good one. It is a good one. You see
All
that
right.
everywhere. I never hear anybody talk about Noctuary now.
No, I used to see it everywhere, like back in like the
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Hmm.
But now, no, I don't see it anymore. But I
Yeah,
would.
that Rob Alanis played drums on that too, and he was on the well, he was on the original early Evil Dead album, Annihilation of Civilization. I didn't even realize he was a
Any
Los Angeles guy.
any copies on Discogs in Canada? No, bummer. That's a problem. Like ordering from anywhere in other than Canada, shipping is just the same price as the CD itself.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So Paul, you got to introduce Radagast the Crusty. Uh, Fred, who are you this week?
I am Lathering Grimness.
What can you elaborate on that?
That's a play on Dark Throne's Ravishing Grimness.
Oh, lathering grimness, very good.
You just like
I should put Ravioli Grimness.
you just bathe in like corpse paint.
Yeah, just work it up to a good lather and then leave it on, I guess. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was.
That's
I
a pretty
was,
good
I
one.
was, yeah, I was out at John's again on Saturday, and at the end of the night after we did all our shit, he's like, oh, I forgot to press record on, or I forgot to plug in something, and I'm like, what? And he's like, we're gonna have to do all that again, and I'm like, it didn't really register in my mind what he was saying when he was talking about it. I had some to drink, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it again. And he goes, that's what I like to hear. And then later, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's a whole day wasted. And
Yeah.
apparently what he didn't plug in was the floor tom. And I'm like, can't we just kind of add that in post? A floor tom?
So he had to do like the drum takes.
He didn't do anything over again, but he was like, oh, that wasn't plugged in.
So what were you guys recording? Guitars?
We recorded 2 drum tracks and 2 guitar tracks, and then I recorded Josh's bass track for my song. He could play it.
I feel like everything else should be fine except for unless you guys did it live or something.
Well, we didn't do it live, but it wouldn't really work for the drums to go backwards. You know what I mean? Like to play over the guitars, like along with the guitars.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because if
It's
you
a
already
floor
have...
tom. It's only the one big one.
Well, it depends, like, if you guys are... The other takes with the floor tom are probably going to sound different without it. Like the other songs that were recorded with the floor tom on.
Yeah, that's just no good though. Wasting a whole day, it's no good. Can't do that.
Yeah, usually when someone says that, they're like, just kidding.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke. I don't like that. That's no good. Yeah, we went to sushi after, and I like right after that, maybe like an hour later when I was going home, like my tummy hurts, and I went home, and I like
Diarrhea?
for whatever reason I laid down on my bed with the fan blasting and the light on, like the big light, and like the window wide open. And I woke up and I'm like, the light's on and the fan. It was like 3 hours later. It's like 4 in the morning at this point. I got home at like 12, and I just forgot to turn the light off and the fan, I forgot to turn the fan down. So I'm just there in the light with the fucking fan.
Yeah,
And I couldn't go back to sleep after that. I just had diarrhea for the rest of the night.
Yeah, you just had to shut down and recover, huh?
Seriously.
That's a bad sushi restaurant.
I don't know. I don't know if it was the food. I don't know if it was the beer. I really don't know. But during that time, yeah, I came up with my nickname, which was Jimmy Neutron from the block. And I'm like, oh, like Jimmy Neutron, he has a brain blast. Like Jimmy Neutron from the block has brain blast beat. Is that funny?
That's good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not funny.
I dig it.
Yeah. I don't know that there's anything else. Oh, Paul, you said you had some ideas for the next Galicia song. This isn't interesting for anybody else, but Yeah, I think we're gonna have to just work on that song in particular. We have to work on as a team. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because it seemed like you're like, oh yeah, this should be good, and then it only came out to like a minute.
We weren't done yet, but yeah, we can spread that out into 4 minutes. I'll have to do some writing tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple
Oh
things when I listen back, I'm like, oh, that could be used and sort of modularized certain riffs and
yeah,
have them extended into their own parts and shit like
you
that.
know
So
you know it was funny too when I was up like late night. I was thinking about that one episode of It's Always Sunny where I forget who it was. I think it was D who stays over at Charlie and Frank's
yeah,
apartment,
yeah.
and they like have their nightly ritual. And one of the nightly ritual is they eat cat food to make their stomach hurt so they can sleep better. That's what I was thinking about. The
Well,
cat.
well, basically, if you had any tuna from the sushi,
Yeah.
It was. Well, I forget the explanation. He's like, why do you have cat food? He's like, for the cats to keep the rats away. He's like, we have 10,000 rats running around the apartment. Something like that. I thought that was funny.
yeah, she's like sleeping in the middle between them and shit.
Yeah.
Is that the one where
And
like
Frank
the
gets up and like scarfs more cat food.
Is that the one where it's like they're talking about like the poop or something? It's like Frank like shit the bed.
No, it's not. I
Oh,
always
okay.
didn't like that episode. I always thought that was the stupidest episode.
Yeah.
The one where Frank shit in the bed. It's like, I don't know. That was always the one that I just did not like. I thought it was a poor episode. It was a mystery, like who shit. in
Yeah,
his
it's like
bed.
who done it, yeah.
Not great. Not great.
Never watched that show.
It was funny. It was funny up until a point. It might
Hmm.
still be funny, but I mean, it's just one of those things that like it goes on for too long, maybe.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
a lot of seasons.
Yeah, for it, again, like this fucking I know this isn't very pleasant. Diarrhea kept keeping me up, so I had like Boomerang on the TV, it's kind of in the background, and I don't know if you even knew this existed, Paul, but Courage the Cowardly Dog meets like Scooby Doo. Did you know that existed?
Mm-mm.
Holy, I don't know when this was made, but holy fuck, that is the worst crossover either of those shows have ever done. Extremely poorly written. Like they've done other stuff, but that was just like
Yeah, it
holy.
seems like they would be made for each other, but
Yeah, I don't know what year that's from.
yeah, it's
Courage
interesting.
meets Scooby Doo. What year is that from? 2021.
Oh
Brother.
damn, yeah,
Yeah. They have like a different voice actor because I think Eustace voice actor like died, and they have the scene where he's like rapping. It's like all this. It was horrible. It was horrible. I wasn't like intently watching, but all the scenes that I did see, I'm like, oh man, this is not good.
damn.
2021. Yeah. I think most cartoons are probably just absolute slop. Anything like this, anything that's like bringing back. Yeah, either way. That's no good. If anybody is ever thinking of watching that, don't. It's extremely bad. Um, I watched some crap this weekend. I forgot what it was. Oh, dude, do you guys remember I was telling you about that movie High School, where they like get the whole school high with the fucking weed brownies at the bake sale?
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched that last night. It had actually been a while since I saw that movie. It came out in 2010. On the description it says not just a stoner movie. This is a stoner epic, and you know what? That's true. That movie is fucking epic. Stands the test of time. It's a little bit dated, like in the sense that the way some of the students dress, it's very 2010. Like there's some scene core kids and shit, but that's kind of just funny. But yeah, dude, Adrian Brody's in that movie. Tom Hanks' son is in that movie. Would recommend. It's free on YouTube. High School, 2010. The movie poster has like a green locker on it.
yeah.
Watch it. Would recommend for anybody.
Yeah, I finally finished, what's it called? Star Trek, the original series, and watched the first two movies. Pretty good.
Are you pleased?
Yeah.
What
Are you a Klingon?
what did you think of the first movie?
I thought,
Is that Wrath of Khan?
no.
No, it's just the motion picture.
It was just like so slow, like the whole way through. And then it kind of just like picks up pace at the end, and it like ends, and it's like, wait, what? What happened? Like it goes by so quick, it like goes double time pace towards the end because they're doing their whole thing of showing everybody, including like the Enterprise, which took like 10 minutes. It was pretty good.
I love that one.
And then Wrath of Khan was great too. So we'll see how.
See, I always thought Wrath of Khan is a good movie, but not as good as everyone makes it out to be.
Yeah, like
when
again, it went by like Khan just had the upper hand for like a second, and then he like makes a mistake, and then the Enterprise makes a win.
Then Kirk puts his glasses on and they win.
Yeah, basically.
But I would pick
Kirk puts his glasses.
Star Trek 1, 4, and 6 over Wrath of Khan. And if we're including Next Gen, First Contact as well.
Yeah, I just have to finish the other fucking 4, and then I can move on to Next Gen.
Yeah. Next Gen, man, I love that show, but you are going to suffer through the first 2 seasons.
Why is it just very episodic and?
All of Next Gen is episodic. Like, they never go into any story arcs.
Okay, that's Deep Space Nine that does that then.
Yeah, as of the 3rd season. But they hadn't found their footing yet, and it's there are some good episodes in there, but there's a lot of duds. Especially one episode in season 2, and I think it's towards the end of season 2, but it basically is an episode where Riker catches some sort of alien disease, and it's making him relive his life in his mind, and it's basically like a clip episode. It's so bad. Like, when you see that one, just skip it. Don't even.
Yeah, whenever shows do that, like the rehash of everything up to that point, it's just like kind of like an editing thing, or they're just kind of like milking their contract of like getting a certain amount of episodes out. I always skip those. There's pointless.
From what I remember,
like
that was
after
a
binge,
budgetary.
too.
That was a budgetary situation. They didn't. They had one more episode to do, and they didn't have the budget to do anything useful. So they just shot the whole thing in the sick bay and just played a bunch of clips from from the from the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, they kind of did that in original series when they're replaying Captain Pike's like mission in like their little
but
courtroom.
at least at the time that made sense because that pilot hadn't been aired at that point, right?
Oh, okay.
So that was still like new stuff for the audience. This Next Gen episode is literally just playing clips of stuff they saw within the last 2 seasons. and the best part is like it's and I get that they couldn't really do it otherwise for what they were trying to do, but it's supposed to be Riker's own memories, and in everything you see, it's obviously in 3rd person, and you're like, but you what?
Yeah, wouldn't you shoot the whole thing from like his perspective?
Although I've read that a lot of people who remember things remember it in the 3rd person, which is weird.
Well, like Tony Soprano says, the lowest form of TV is remember when.
Remember when?
So there you go. I think we got some pretty good comments in. The Piggies finally spoke up about what they want to hear. Yeah. So that's been good. And we also got a comment from one of the guitarists from Dust Defiled. He checked out the stuff.
Yeah, that comment was actually much longer than the screenshot. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
after.
I went on and read the whole thing.
It's like, bet you didn't expect me to be here, huh? That's what he said.
Yeah. We
No.
had
Cheeky
some other artists comment on. Who was the last one that did? Wasn't too long ago.
I don't recall who was the last one that did. You know something funny I forgot to mention? I think that one of the guys from Woke Norden heard that episode.
Is it just one guy?
which is kind of funny.
Damn. My bad, G.
Because somebody, I think it was the drummer. The drummer commented on that episode, correcting us about something. I forget what exactly. And then he added the Bunsen burner account, and I assume he listened to that episode.
Yeah, if he's correcting
which is
something,
kinda
yeah.
funny.
He corrected
When
something.
we were talking about the
He
band
said,
Nebron,
"It's not that bad."
Yeah, when we were talking about Nebron last episode, somebody commented LeBron James,
Yeah.
which is a little upsetting because when I listened back, I thought to myself LeBron James, but Rudy to Booty, he beat me to it.
Damn it! Every time.
Yeah, damn.
He's hot. He's like one of the first commenters.
Yeah, let's see if there's any. There's a few suggestions here. So the Boston Barger, his name always reminds me of the Boston Bomber. Boston Barger. He wants Uncanny Splenium for Nyctophobia and
Yes.
an electronic music selection episode, or first two Blind Guardian albums. Could make some.
Seems like all three of those could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Blind
that's just
Guardian
the
Eventually.
thing. I sort of want to, like we talked about, I sort of want to avoid anything that Jub's done. Has he done Blind Guardian? I don't know.
I don't remember.
I wouldn't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think he did. I don't think Terminus did that. Uncanny. I don't think that Jub did that either.
Yeah, nothing from Jub on Blind Guardian. So
Yeah, and the middle suggestion here, that might be Fred could. That's optional for Fred. I know if he doesn't want to stick around for like electronic music talk, but Paul, I know that me and you are like
tech heads.
that could happen. Yeah.
I'm
did you
willing
say?
to I'm willing to expose myself to it, and I don't know much about it. I
I don't
would.
either. I just know what
I don't know if this music would count, but I would probably pick a Hosiko album, and whether it counts or not, we just run with it.
Oh, what?
A what?
Hosiko.
Hosiko?
How do you spell
Hosiko.
that?
Is that like Spangle?
Hocico. It's Spanish for, I think, muzzle or snout, something like that.
Okay.
H-O...
These guys look like they look like
Hocico.
cybergoths.
Yeah,
Ho-
that's
Hokiko.
Hocico.
It says legendary Mexican electro duo. Never heard of it.
pull up the track. Okay, my
1993.
favorite track from them is probably "Forgotten Tears" from Signos de Abrasion, which is.
I think if we
probably
do an episode
butchered,
like that, it should be like the Manowar episode, kind of just like a bunch of selections.
Yeah, it might be better than trying to dive
Yeah,
into
like
something.
Yeah, I don't think it's really necessary. I think kind of getting into the weeds with like a little bit of everything would actually be better for something like that,
Yeah,
because then we wouldn't have to do it again
more exposure. Yeah,
unless we really needed to.
yeah. I think that's a good idea.
I think a prog
could,
episode like that. I know we did one prog episode, but I maybe would be down to do, or maybe even like a '70s hard rock episode, like of good examples of that. I don't know, just spitballing here.
That's where I get in trouble.
Spitballing. Let's see. Somebody says they suggest Valokankan Ale Mia by IC Rex. I don't know what the fuck that is. What is that?
Fred, you know that?
Is that a metal band?
Nope.
IC Rex? What the hell
Yeah,
is
it's
that?
How do you
Finnish
spell
black
it?
metal.
I'm not looking at it.
Finnish black metal.
How do you spell it? I'm not looking at the comment.
The letter is IC.
Rex.
and then Rex.
IC space Rex or RC.
IC Rex. Is this the guy from like Druid
I don't
and
know what
Forest
the
and all
fuck
that?
this is.
Nope, it's not. I don't know what
It's
the hell
somebody.
this is.
It's somebody from somebody that played in Baptism live.
No, it's not telling me a whole lot.
Uh,
Nope. Don't know who this is.
no, I don't know what this is.
Well,
Hammer of
that'd be
Hate.
good.
That's
It'd be
That
like
might be.
a
That would
makes
actually be
sense.
good because we don't know what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good because we don't know what it is. Let's see.
Oh,
Bestial
Third Album has a cool
Conclave.
cover.
But yeah, it does. Not bad. Not bad. Bestial Conclave says desolate, sanity obliterated. If you aren't already familiar, and I looked it up and I wasn't familiar. I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah, me
else
either.
suggests Hibernoid. Well, Terminus did that already.
Yeah, I referred
And then
them
he
there.
also suggests Albino Slug. I think
What?
that
No weird.
yes, I think Radical Research covered Albino Slug. They are a weird band.
Yeah, I
They're
think they
kinda
did too.
What the? Well, how would you even talk about Albino Slug? You ever heard of that, Fred? Probably not, right?
Albino Slug? No, I haven't heard of them, but
Avant-garde metal.
I'm looking at their covers, and no, really nothing.
So it says Albino Slug. This is from the Radical Research blurb about the episode. This time they investigate Albino Slug, known few but adored by those who do. Albino Slug's legacy hinges on two confounding slices of avant rock and metal, from Melvin's Doom to music concrete. Albino Slug operates, as you will hear, in a universe of its own making. Denied its 15 minutes. Even in the prime of its career, Radical Research is looking to set things straight, shining the spotlight on this band's intensely personal relationship with heavy music, defy the bigotry of those who come before you, and embrace the fascinating weirdness of Norway's most unsung sons.
Yeah, so check out Radical Research. They actually covered that band probably better than we could on account of those guys are writers from the 90s.
Yeah, episode 48. So check that
Episode
out.
48, Radical Research.
That's
Give
how
that a
I.
listen.
That's how I heard him. So.
Me too. That's how I heard them as well.
Oh,
and then
dang! I just
what's
saw
that?
that they did a great episode that I'm interested in. They did the
What's that?
Watchtower discography like last month, so I'm gonna
Oh,
check
okay.
that out. I feel like they
it's
fell off
always-
a bit. Like they haven't been releasing much.
I think Jeff Wagner's house burned down.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so like they just his life kind of fell apart. They
But
haven't had
his
time to do
Voivod book came out, so that's good.
that. Okay,
Bye-bye.
Made a house out of those books.
interesting. Oh wow, Paul. Bestial Conclave actually has an interesting comment here. He says, never thought I'd hear Dismal Insanity mentioned. Belarus had some real dork bands at the time, like Hospice and Deep Sorrow. I mentioned to him that I hadn't heard Hospice. But then I looked it up and actually had. You actually showed me that. Is that?
Yeah, I showed you that. Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to that today. That's really good progressive metal.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
Yeah, that one's really
If
good.
Fred's not familiar, Hospice from Belarus and
Yeah.
their second demo, I think.
Yeah, Bestial Conclave and I share a lot of interesting, I guess, avant-garde metal. So, like whenever he posts something in the Terminus Discord, I'm like, that's in the like videos.
Yeah, I've seen him on post, sharing some crazy stuff. A lot of the time, maybe this is years ago, but he used to share like Japanese, weird kind of heavy metal. Like what's the name of that one band? Amphibian. Like Amphibian is a really interesting one.
Yeah, he shares a
And
lot of
there's some,
that
like,
too.
Interesting related stuff. What's that?
Yeah, he shares a lot of that too. He's always just excavator, so it's good.
He also recommended a band that I'm not sure I know, Lord Amore. He says since we were talking about Funeral Doom.
Yeah, I think I've come across them, but I don't remember much from them. But since I've been in the Doom mood, I may have to go back and see what I think about them.
Yeah, so I might have to write some of these down as like what we can do for like the 4th episode of every month or whatever, because there's some interesting ones here. I like some of these ideas.
I like having the backlog there. So
Yeah, same here. Like if we ever run out of shit, it's like we'll do one of the listener suggestions, which is pretty good.
So
I've
keep
been
it up,
checking out,
Piggies.
Yeah, keep that stuff up. Yeah, there you go. I've been checking out kind of wild Brazilian death metal, probably in the last week or so. The early Christian stuff, very
Oh, yeah.
fucking unhinged. It's crazy. It's like it's still got that that sarcophago and like Atomica spirit, but it's like now death metal, so it's totally insane. Yeah, the early
Yeah.
Christian stuff is really good. I think Paul, you picked something from out of there. What else was there? Oh, this band Ophiolatry. Opposite Monarchy is the name of the demo. That one's really crazy. It's almost like Deicide, but totally sloppy and just like it doesn't make any sense, but it's awesome. It's
Yeah, I
extreme.
think that's a huge band for Brazil in like the late '90s. Like a lot of their death metal was like taken from that, like obviously Christian and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. There was another band that I sent, or a band called Mental Horror is another one I've been listening to. And then this is like NS black metal from Brazil, kind of interesting. They're called Nacht Cult.
Oh, I
Krieg
remember
for
them.
Immer demo. Yeah, not the most original name, but it's pretty solid stuff. Oh, Rebellion again. That's kind of deicide-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff.
yeah. I know their later
So,
albums. Like I think there's one like
okay.
it's all like in flames or something.
Yeah, that's the one I was listening to. I'm meaning to get to the next one as well.
Yeah,
I remember I posted a live video from them not that long ago, and somebody replied to my story. They're like, "Who are these retards?" which is funny. Um, oh, I sent you guys something really great. I didn't send it to Fred, but the other chat. The
ooh,
band Desecration, Underground Victory, 2001. That is really something. Doesn't sound like Deicide. At this point, it sounds like um, almost mellow death, like bestial mellow death. Really kind of interesting stuff. If you didn't check that out yet, Paul, I think you'll like it.
no, I gotta check that out. I thought it was the
Yeah,
band
Underground Victory.
from Canada.
No, they're from Brazil.
Yeah, I think they have the same name.
The Canadian Deceleration is pretty cool.
Yeah, they have like crazy bass on their shit.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Pure Hatred, that demo from '94 is great.
Yeah.
I have this on my list too. I haven't really checked out yet. Abhorrence from Brazil. I imagine Fred
Oh
is
yeah, they
probably
have like the like
great
demon
with that.
monster shit on their stuff. They're just like really
Well, I have the
blasty.
demo saved right here. It's called Ascension. It's got like a horned
Yeah, with
shadow.
a lot of those bands, I've checked out mainly their like debuts, but
Yeah.
probably got to check out their demos because I think that one, Invoking the Abomination, was '01, and it's just like blast shit, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well,
So
even Bestial Conclave was like,
Evoking is awesome. I only have the Ascension demo because I was on Wild Rags, and you know how I feel about Wild Rags. But
you hate
Evoking
them.
is a monstrous album. It's
oh, you hate them? No, Victor, they say damn you.
no DD.
Yeah, so
No!
yeah, maybe got to go into the demos because I think they just got at the turn of the century like super high quality production for a lot of their stuff, and I'm sure the more or the less production skills, the more unhinged it was in the demo days. So
Yeah, that stuff I prefer too.
yeah,
It's like,
especially like that Christian EP, like yeah, that was pretty insane.
yeah, well, it's like, dude, there's like no rhyme or reason, and they don't really care that much. They're kind of just interested in being fucked up, which I really like. So I think that's another it's another like corner that I'm not super familiar with, but I'm becoming interested in is like uh, some of the earlier Brazilian death metal. Like that's just wild. Um,
Yeah, I
I
think
think
on
Infernal maybe counts there too. And that band that Fred showed us.
yeah, I think
Yeah, they're
that
cool.
that dive probably my next pick. Since I
Brazilian
haven't
death metal.
since I haven't done any death metal in a while. Like strict death metal. I was
Hmm.
thinking about that one Brazilian band I showed you, Carcinosi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's like my favorite little niche style within it. It's just Cataclysm Core. So
Interesting.
you might have to do
Yeah,
that next. So
and then somehow I came across Archaic Mass, who I always come across every once in a while. Um, so that's kind of interesting. If you're familiar with that band,
mm-mm.
kind of necrovorish, kind of just wild,
When did?
death metal '92.
Oh, okay, cool. I was gonna say when did they come out, but there you go.
Yeah. And Fred, I finally, after all this time, I got to Mechanikill from Disciples of Power.
Oh, right on. Is that a
That
cool
is a
album?
weird album.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that because the first one I like, Power Trap, but it's a
Hmm.
little bit generic, which is
Yeah,
like
it is.
okay. But yeah, I did not expect Mechanikill to sound like it did. Like the way the album looks, it looks like it would be later generic thrash, but it's kind of just progressive metal that doesn't even really have songs. It's like confusing where things
Yeah.
come in and like, dude, it's barely even riffs. It's almost like riff exercises in a really interesting way. And it's
It's a
got death
weird
metal
ass
vocals.
album.
Yeah, it's very strange, very strange. It's progressive metal all the way.
Hmm. For Brazilian death metal though, I don't remember if I've ever mentioned them before, but I really like Morbid Death. Um, they only had two demos, one from '91, one from '94. Um,
Is
so
that the
not a lot of
band with the like very cartoonish looking Grim Reaper on it? Or am I thinking of something else?
on one of the covers, I think.
Punishment? No, I don't. No, I'm thinking of something else. That's yeah. What the hell is that? I'll think of it later. It's something we've talked about before, Fred. I really can't remember what the
Because
fuck
I
it was
know
called.
I think it's the '91 demo that has like a Reaper on it. I don't know if he looks
Death
particularly goofy,
Punishment?
but
Yeah, it has. Well, that's not what I was talking about, but
oh, okay. But yeah,
Kingdom of
great band,
Lies, huh?
great band. Kingdom of Lies, I think, is the better one, but
Uh huh. Interesting.
like their entire discography is like half an hour long, so you're not gonna commit too much time checking them out.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. Let me see.
But they're cool. I like them a lot.
Let's see what. Oh, here we go. I came across this band just kind of scrolling through Instagram on Stygian Black Hand. I guess this is like the fucking golden child right now. Fire Magic. You guys heard of this
No.
What? What?
band called Fire Magic?
Mm-mm.
The
No.
Memories of Fire is the name of the album. I think it's their debut. Not exactly sure. Uh, it's decent stuff. It's kind of power metalish, which is not the worst thing in the world nowadays. It's a little bit refreshing.
Fire
I
what?
kind of went in ready to
Magic.
be like, I kind of went in ready to be like, fuck this crap, it's new, it's crap. But like, it was actually kind of good.
Hmm.
Oh wait,
So
I've seen
maybe
this
yeah,
floating around.
maybe worth something. I think it's still important to like listen to new stuff. I even listen to like the new Iron Firmament. It's okay.
You'll send that
They
new.
seem to be a really big like everybody loves them nowadays as well.
You'll send that new bayonet though.
Bayonet, yeah. Our friend Joe of Delirium Shroud is doing vocals on this Bayonet demo. What is the demo called?
Oh, cool.
I think
I
it's
forget
just
what it's
called
called.
bayonet, right?
No, it's called something. I posted it on our page.
Oh, in the
It's
face
called
of it
like
all.
In the Face of It All. Yeah, it looks like one of those Argus Lent like compatriot type artworks. It's not exactly that. It's how would you even describe that, Paul? It kind of sounds like Argus Lent, but it also just sounds like heavy metal. But then again, you could just be like, that's Argus Lent.
Yeah, it's just so condensed. Like I can imagine those songs only being about 2 or 3 minutes apiece. So it just flew by
It's
so
quite
quick.
good. Joe's vocals are great on that.
Yeah.
It's condensoslent.
Cadensaslent, yeah.
Yeah, there's
I
a ring to it.
there's this post on that I commented on, and in the video it shows you know those pleco fish, the ones that suck on the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says, "Damn, what did bro do?" And it's like a pleco fish on one wall, and all the way on the other side of the tank, all the fish are like huddled together, away from the pleco. And I wrote, I understand this. I had a big pleco and it would thrash around all night and it broke my 8-year-old goldfish's tail.
Oh yeah.
Aggressive and violent, really pissed me off. Yeah, dude, like that thing almost like hopped out of the fucking tank. The lid, I had to like hold it down. It was like going from side to side. Broke my fucking fish's tail I had for 8 years.
Yeah, I remember
It was
that.
a giant pleco. That really pissed me off. I hated that fish.
You know, it
Funnily
never
enough,
occurred to me that a fish
it
can
died,
break
and
its
then we ran it over
fish.
with my friend's car.
Yeah.
Huh?
Never, never occurred to me that a fish can break its tail.
Yeah, it did not deserve the toilet.
Plecos, man, don't get those. Those things suck. They're super invasive too. I think like they tell you if you see them in the river or something, just kill them. They're just like pieces of shit fish. I remember my fucking asshole cousin. My grandparents had a koi pond and they had a pleco in there and it died. And I was in the jacuzzi. I was like holding my breath. I was just kind of like hanging out in the jacuzzi. And he puts the fucking dead pleco on my back. And I'm like, fucking idiot. That pissed me off too. And everyone's laughing like it's funny. I'm like, get that disease-ridden fucking scum-sucking piece of shit off my back, dude. Fucking idiot. Put a pleco on my back. Yeah, I don't think so, pal. Okay. Who's got what do you call it? Collection haul.
I'll do mine
Mailbag.
since mine's a little.
I didn't get anything. I didn't purchase anything.
Mine's pretty short.
I got Dragon Quest in the mail. I'm playing Game Boy. That's my
Nice.
gaming console of choice. I tried Mother 1. It's a little too primitive. 1989 RPG. I just watched a YouTube video of it. Earthbound I'll do, because that's a classic. I'll do that. But Mother 1, a little too tedious. Can you imagine? 1989 RPG, extremely primitive. Dragon Quest should be good though.
Which one did you get? There's like a fuckload.
The one for the Game Boy. I don't know what it's called. The Caravan of Monsters or something. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Well, the only pickup I got was from the band we covered last week, Stonehenge Engraved Enigma
Stonehenge.
cassette.
Yeah.
Great condition. Got it somewhere from in Texas.
You can hear the muffled sounds in the little package before you open it. It's like.
Oh, yeah. So that's all I got. Fred has like an hour's worth of content.
No, it's not that bad.
Creak, creak,
Um,
creak, 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 creak.
Yeah, kind of.
Tuck it.
I
Take, the mushroom. That was really
no,
stupid.
I ordered like the guy was posting lots for band discographies, so I picked up the Take and Krieg most discography. So for Take, it's the first 6 albums. So Nadested up to Norexvapen, and already had up to Stridenshuis. Already had all of them. Nadested is a first press, so I'm keeping that because I had the reissue on Digipack and I hate it. So that is fun. Krieg, there were 9 CDs, I think. Rise, Church, Destruction Ritual, Kill Yourself, Patrick Bateman, Black House, Sono, Blue Miasma, Isolationist, and Transient. I did not have the first press of Rise, so I'm keeping that. And I didn't have Transient, so I'm keeping that too. And aside from that, the Opfer Rassenhass album, Fierté Ancestrale, which is now posted on this page. Abyssic Hate, their first, only album. And Catatonia's Funerals to Come EP, which is wonderful. So, yeah, there you go. And most of the rest that I already have is posted up for sale. So, yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, mostly stuff I already have and just got it for the ones I don't have and just selling the rest to make the money back.
I'm looking at the timestamps. I didn't see this before that Cock did. There's a part where I was doing the Jew voice, and Paul, you did the robot censored, and he wrote, where is it? He wrote, Danny pulls a Robo Shlomo. I like that. And then one of the timestamps says back from break / talking smack about obituary. Talking smack. That's kind of funny. All right. Ready for break?
Yeah.
Break!
All right, let's do it.
And we're back from break.
Yeah, I'm eating a charcuterie board from the market.
I'm eating ice.
Eating ice.
Yeah.
Eating ice is pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Especially when your mouth gets numb and you're like,
Yeah.
done that one before.
No, anyway, that's more.
Hey, Death Metal. So yeah, you want to get into a couple things that I done picked it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
finally got to the classics.
Finally got to a couple classics, couple favorites. Yeah, finish Death and Roll. Finally, we're back again. You know what? I don't think we've exactly been here yet.
Been adjacent.
Adjacent, yeah.
Adjacent, yeah.
Last time we were in this sort of area.
Corpse,
It was
right?
for Paul. Corpse, Pull the Flood, or not Pull the Flood. Sorry, Revirgin.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was episode fucking 2 with Paroxysm's promo 95. Now, I will say that Paroxysm rocks. I don't know that they're Death and Roll though.
No, I just
They're-
always lump them in because they just so happen to be finished too. So
They just happen to be finished, and they happen to kind of rock, in a Death and Roll world. You're rocking in a Death and Roll world. You're rocking in the free world, but you're not quite what it means to be Death and Roll.
yeah.
I don't exactly know.
Excrement had some death and rolling moments.
Disagree
but,
with that.
No, I think it's a title track that definitely had some
Hard
death and rolling
disagree.
moments in there.
I think it was just death metal. I wouldn't even call it melodic death metal, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I'm
We
Kinda-
did Corpse though. That was definitely death and rolling.
yeah.
I think it's adjacent, honestly. I
Corpse?
think that one is okay. So, we are doing Lubricants, Nookleptia, and we are doing Pakeni's Detergent Bubble Bath. Yeah, what you just brought up, Corpse. I think Corpse is a little closer to like Voivod and stuff that we sort of parsed out on that episode, because they have death and roll parts, but that doesn't really make up what the band is, because on the first album they didn't really have any death and roll parts. It was kind of this weird almost like grindcore-ish thing,
Yeah.
and I think that's what Revirgin was as well. But they sort of added a few, like there's not even that many on the album. There's maybe like 2 or 3 at most.
Yeah,
of
right at
those
the
kinds of
beginning.
riffs. What's that?
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to this stuff, I would argue that Lubricant is probably like the progenitor of the death and roll sound. I know there's Xysma, and Xysma, honestly, they only like get there first by a matter of months, maybe like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Because why is that, Paul?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. Well, he said yeah.
Well, because
Gonna-
with that, like they spawned out of what Xysma was doing already with like sort of carcass worship at the beginning, but
yeah.
the death and roll stuff kind of came a little bit later than well, even that Yaz from 91, so they beat him out by like 2 years.
No, Yaz from 90.
No, well there you go, even more.
And no, but I'm looking at this in a very, very with a very close lens. I'm looking before I'm looking at Fata Morgana in 1990.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're right. Yeah, wait, isn't from
No, 91.
It was recorded in 90.
Yeah.
It was recorded in 90. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
recorded in 90.
and then
Comes out in 91. I believe, when does Nookleptia come out? 92?
93.
Hey,
Yeah, they beat him out by 2
Nookleptia
years. Yeah.
Okay. Either way. Here's what I'm looking at. Fata Morgana, 1990, Xysma. Uh, Only one song, the first one, On the Hill of Desecration. That makes it to Yeah, which is like the full-on death and roll album. And by the way, I listened to that a couple of times recently. What a perfect album. Or EP.
Seriously.
It is so it is so fleshed out. Like there's nothing else that really needed to be expounded upon. They did on Person Magical. It's a bit different, but I think I like Yeah better. That one is much more
Dude, that one's
like cult metal.
yeah, that one's up there with like just peak fucking death metal, like up there with like Thurgathon with me. So it's like, or Thurgatha. So
Oh, me too.
Huh.
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
stuff is that stuff is perfect. There's nothing to improve on, and there's nothing really. There's no criticism that you can give. Yeah,
yeah, obviously they sound, completely different from each other and not what you typically think of what death metal is from either of those bands, but it's still fucking amazing.
both bands are doing extremely experimental things very early on. During like we can call it the beginning of the second wave of death metal, right?
Yeah. And I think Lubricant was from the same town as Convulse, and Convulse was, I think, their first sort of death and roll leanings were in Lost Equilibrium EP, and
Mhm.
that's 93. So I don't know if they were, because I was reading that they're like in the same sort of like rehearsal spaces and stuff like that, and I don't know who got the idea from who, but it seemed like Lubricant had like a fully formed idea of death and roll, including psychedelic. Well, who we get into first? Probably Lubricant, right?
Yes. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
get
At this
into
at this
it.
rate, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they just have like a fully fleshed idea of what they're going for.
Yeah, on their
Plus,
first demo in 1990.
yeah,
And like I said, that only comes after that one EP from Xysma, Fata Morgana, which honestly only has one song that's not fully fleshed. Well, it kind of is because it comes out on Yeah, but there's riffs on here. The song titles are different, but there are riffs on there that actually come out on the next Swallow the Symmetric Swab and Nookleptia.
okay.
So that idea of sort of experimental, like I don't even know how you would call it, because it doesn't sound like what you would expect of death and roll. Like the Finnish scene is very different. But I think you had another point to add, Paul. Let you finish your thought.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it sounded like you did. But yeah, this stuff really is. I think when I discovered this shit, it was already kind of like perfect, in the sense that I had already gone through thrash and like at least had an understanding of black and death metal, and then discovering the Finnish stuff, and then eventually ending up here at Lubricant and like the Xysma and death and roll scene. At that point, you feel fully immersed and fully like, oh yeah, I know what's up.
Yeah, the niche of the niche.
Exactly, the niche of the niche. You're like, I have arrived at Lubricant's Nookleptia.
Yeah, and
I
I
used to
think
be. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think like there's other bands that are like weird progressive, like Afflicted, that kind of influence Lubricant, obviously with the shirt being worn by the guy. Um,
Yeah,
and I'm trying
and
to think of
they were a
like
little
other
bit
bands.
earlier too. I think they were around in the late '80s.
I think that one album came out. Well, it says from '90s they had demos, but the album came out in '92, so a year before they came out with Nookleptia. And I'm sure that they're listening to all the demos as they were coming out.
Well, they had their previous band too. I think that one was late '80s.
Oh, Afflicted Convulsion, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not 100% on that.
it says '88. So
88. Okay, there you go.
close. And yeah, so other than that, I don't know of any other like earlier bands that could be credited for that, because like even Carbonized Disharmonizations like 93, it's not really death and roll, but it's just, being a little bit experimental with death metal at the time.
Yeah, there's tons of bands doing experimental stuff, and a lot of it comes off as like artsy kind of like the phantasmagory stuff and like atheist and all that kind of stuff where it's like, oh, we're jazz,
Yeah.
like like Carbonized, like you said, but it's also this is just like a different iteration of experimentation where it's like Xysma has this idea, they have this one song. Lubricant kind of has a fully formed version of it before Xysma does. Xysma has one song. These guys 4 months later have a 30-minute demo. So I didn't realize, but I think Lubricant is actually I think the biggest progenitor of this sound besides Xysma. Xysma kind of did it first a little, like, I don't know, man. They're really adjacent. It's sort of hard to say like who came first with Xysma and Lubricant doing this style, but Lubricant was always there. They like never changed really.
Yeah, because I think like the greats of the genre, they're obviously going to be up there, a bit more of like a cult classic, even though they're pretty well known.
Right.
And I think it's like Convulse, Xysma, Lubricant, and I may think of one other one like Disgrace or something.
Sort of.
Disgrace moved
is-
there
I-
quite a bit later, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, because I think
Also, Disgrace isn't
'cause if
that
we're gonna go-
experimental. I feel like they kind of just took the idea and sort of ran with it a little bit.
yeah, because I think I don't know if the main songwriter from Pakeni came in during that time of the more experimental death and roll stuff. I think it was Volume 3 or something.
Was he in Disgrace?
Yeah, he ended up being in there. But I just don't know if he was like in there during that time of like Volume 3 and stuff. But yeah, so there's like a connection there. Looks
I
like he
think
came
something-
in 97, so
Okay.
It's too bad Disgrace didn't release that second album when it was recorded, because I think that might have been made more of an impact for them getting credited with. It was still a bit later than Xysma and Lubricant, but I think that one would have made a pretty big splash if it had come out when it
oh, there you go.
it was ready.
Volume 2, yeah.
Yeah, was it like Black Lizard's Cry or some?
Yeah, from
Something like
93, so it would have been right at home between everything else, but then they, did, what was it, Superdome or something? Or Superhuman Dome?
But around that time we've got the Swedes coming in too, right? Because Entombed and Dismember started going a bit more in that direction.
Yeah,
Dismember not as much maybe, but there's
Dismember
definitely
not
some of
really
it
at all.
on.
They had, like one song that was kind of pop.
I do not know.
I thought Massive Killing Capacity had a fair bit of that,
It's
but
like-
Oh no.
Grave definitely did.
It's such a, well, I think all that later stuff is like just more groove oriented, where this is like
Honestly,
actually
yeah.
like rocking and shit.
Yeah, even like.
But like I was
even
gonna,
like Entombed's Wolverine Blues is a groove metal album.
yeah,
It's not
I was gonna say
rock
like,
and roll.
why the fuck do people always say that? It's like, oh, this started it. It's like, do you listen to Do you listen to fucking Lubricant? Like this came out way before Entombed, I guess. With
The riffs
their
are funny, like funnily happy. They sound like Thin Lizzy or something.
yeah, it's just kind of, well, they're probably way bigger bands than the Finns were, so they probably just got
It would have
the
to be.
notoriety.
That music's more accessible. This is like retarded art. That's awesome.
Yeah, like, because I don't know, it just makes me so upset. Like, there's like YouTube videos that are like, oh, death and roll, and it's like, oh, it all started with Wolverine Blues. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's gay. Don't pay attention.
Yeah,
And they
wouldn't,
don't even mention like anything from like the Finnish scene. They're like, oh, and then there's fucking, like you said, Grave and Gorefest and stuff
Gorefest,
like that.
maybe.
Yeah, and it's
Honestly,
like,
that's just groove. I don't consider that to be death and roll. That doesn't.
no,
really make
not
sense.
at all. And then there's like the later stuff from Sweden, like I think I mentioned like Hearst. I made that meme. I was like you, and then the guy says not to worry about, and it's fucking Temple of Knowledge.
Oh yeah.
That was funny.
Maybe you could put that in the the real or the post of the album or something.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to remind me. Send it again, or just remind me.
Yeah, but then there's also like Furball, and they're from like '92. They're a little bit more adjacent to Death and Roll than like what I consider it to be. Because I think they had Those Shredded Dreams and like Autumn Years. That was '92 and '94.
We've got
considered them
we've got
to be
Gorefest
Death
too.
and
I mean,
Roll,
like
though.
they didn't go full Death and Roll till a bit later on, but you can even hear some of it in False already. Like it starts creeping in there.
Yeah, and then a great latecomer for me was Dominus's The First Nine. That's really intense funeral. I was gonna say Funeral Doom, Death and Roll.
Funeral Roll.
Yeah.
Well, that one too. Like you can hear a little like shreds of it
Funeral
on the first album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like on View to the Dim, there's definite parts in there that hinted at where they were going. Yeah, I don't think you would have listened to the album and said, "Yeah, the next one will be Death and Roll." But when you hear the Death and Roll album, you go back to it, you're like, "Oh yeah, I hear a little bit of it in there."
And then-
that's how I consider Disgrace to be. It's like you can hear little hints in there.
In Grey Misery.
And then there's like
Yeah.
another. I'm just kind of shitting on Death and Roll, or what people consider it, because
Right.
it's not it. And there's like Conqueror with Spit or Swallow, that really sucks. And
Don't really know that one. I kind of just care about the first album with the guy. who's
yeah, that one's really
Mhm.
good. I was listening to that one again. What else is there? Pundit Stench. A lot of people always put them up in there with like Club Mondo Bazaar.
I'd rather just not listen to that.
Yeah, like, and then
Yeah.
there's of course like the German scene that kind of has their footing in there with or I guess Austrian with the Disharmonic Orchestra, just being a little bit weirder death metal, but not really like in Death and Roll as I know it, and
Yeah,
it being like one of my
that-
favorite genres. Like,
Yeah, because that stuff, like, it's taking prog rock and putting it into like a kind of death metal context, but they're doing it in a way that's like novel,
yeah,
where where the bands that we're talking about now, like Xysma, Lubricant, Pakeni, Convulse, those are probably the main four who
Yeah.
actually do this sound, like this very particular sound. This stuff actually has like songs, and it doesn't really, and it is experimental, but that doesn't mean it's progressive. It doesn't really mean that it's trying to show off anything. I don't think. I think
No, they
everything
just-
with these albums sort of just work as like a full piece.
Yeah,
And
they
it is
just-
weird.
yeah, they just skip all that prog shit and throw in
Yeah,
like
you
fucking.
don't need that. Like
Yeah,
that, you could call these progressive metal bands in their own right, but not at all in the way that you would say like, oh, that band's sound is progressive metal. It's like these four bands do not have that.
Like what you get is I think we got to it with like Convulse, or who was it that was like inspired by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like you hear that.
Yeah, Convulse was the one that's Chili Peppers.
Yeah,
I
and
think
then-
that's why these bands have a very similar sound, but at the same time they're all pretty distinguishable from each other.
Yeah, and then Xysma famously taking Black Sabbath and kind of just
Sabbath,
putting in
yeah.
double time. And
Lubricant's almost impossible to pinpoint where they're even coming from.
yeah,
They're
it goes like
very different.
goes psychedelic at some points too. And I think that they have a bit of a more like Xysma is straight like death and roll, like that you can hear like their faster parts being more death metal, but
Yeah, they have death metal parts. So does Lubricant though. Lubricant does too.
I was gonna argue that Lubricant, their faster parts, the riffing not so much, but like the drum wise, it's very like grind. And I
Yeah.
guess you could say that from like Carcass, but even then,
Yes.
they don't even go into like Swan Song until '96, which is their death and roll album. And
Interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think I always bring it up whenever we're talking about Xysma and Carcass, but it's like I feel like they've always had like the same sort of trajectory of like evolving, like almost pretty much every album they would go into to something new. Carcass was doing that with like every release. They started off with like the Putrefaction, and then got a little bit more like refined sound in their next two albums, and then they got hard work, putting in some like melodic death metal. Same with like Necroticism, and then Swan Song they just changed it up to more like song oriented death metal, and
It doesn't even feel like death metal at that point. It just feels like rock and roll that's like kind of heavy.
yeah,
Hmm.
and then Xysma you got the same sort of trajectory where it's like they have their more grindcore stuff, get into and First and Magical they you know kind of refine that sound and make it a little bit more condensed and less I guess less expansive,
Janky.
because
Yeah.
was like so like they had like just acoustic guitar songs in there and shit, like it's so great. And then you get to like Lotto and like Girls on the Beach, and then they're getting into like garage rock or something.
Yeah, yeah. They're doing like the retro indie thing before that's even a thing.
Yeah, and I think we always said it's like even with the band Belial with their album 3, like I feel like that went over the line of influence of, instead of incorporating that into death metal like how these other bands did, they just went
That
straight
just kind of
for,
experimented with sound.
well, they went straight for like grunge sound.
Not all the songs are though. Like there's punk songs on there that I like.
Yeah,
That
and
it's weird. It's weird. Weird album. I do like it though.
yeah, and I think, like we said, Convulse, Xysma, Lubricant, Pakeni kind of really hone that sound and kind of hold on to it, and then just move away or disband from that. Um, and they kind of just, with those albums, just left such a huge mark, especially for me, genre wise. Like, you showed me that stuff, and, we made some of our attempts at that. And I think it's pretty good versus stuff that I hear now that's considered death and roll. It's always taken from the wrong things, or just totally oblivious to the Finns. And when I was reading the Rotting Way to Misery, the Finnish death metal book, no mention of fucking Pakeni, no mention of like they have like little tidbits about like lubricant in there, but they just mainly go over the what you would expect, the demigods, the demiliches, and stuff like that, and a lot of the pioneering Finnish bands, but they don't really get into this niche of death and roll, which is like such a fascinating and interesting thing that sort of is kind of time capsuled there in Finland.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's hard to think of Finland without associating some form of death and roll with it, because so many of the bands just wind up touching on it at some point in their careers, whether they moved in that direction as a whole or just like Lubricant just went there and then just imploded.
Yeah.
Yes, same with Pakeni. I think they had like what, Celestial Mechanics or something um,
Yeah.
right after, and kind of moved away from that a bit, and Convulse moving away from that as well, and then Xysma, doing whatever they do. They just released an album 2 years ago, so yeah. Let's get
Zizma gonna
into
Zizma.
Yeah, let's get into the real nitty gritty of Lubricant, though. Like, how did you find this one out?
How did I find it? On the the, the YouTube channel. It's called Jesus Salen now.
Yeah,
Back in the day, it used to be called Xysmic Exclamation or something.
Hmm.
And it was the one guy who would upload usually not even a full album, like single tracks of Finnish death metal. And that's how I originally found his or all this stuff. Um, when I heard this shit, it sort of made me think of like surfing or something. It almost sounded like you're chilling on the beach. Uh, you go surf, you come back, you listen to like Lubricant and Xysma on the stereo or
Yeah,
something.
life
That's the
metal.
vibe it gives. And I remember back then it gave me like a nostalgic feeling because it was so like primitive and but so I don't know. The music spoke to me, and when I was listening to some of that stuff today, like still gives me that same. It's almost like alien type music because it's like what the fuck? Like the band is called Lubricant. Some people might argue that's a stupid name. I think it's a great name. Nookleptia, it's like a made up word. It's a disease where your clothes fall off. Hence the guy on the rock with his fucking naked.
It
Oh,
is not a made up word.
I thought that's where the
Is
thieves
that a
went.
real thing?
It's hang on, I pulled it up earlier. An obsession or delusion that one's thoughts are being stolen by others,
I
which
remember
is
reading
such
something
a
else.
perfect title for it.
Nookleptia.
Yeah, I thought it was like a thief's island or something.
I read that in like it's a disease that makes your clothes fall off or something. Maybe that's on
No,
the
no.
LP. I don't know. That I did read that. I didn't make that up. Not crazy. I'm not
But it's
crazy.
funny that you mentioned it being having an alien sound because,
It
you
does. It's
know,
fucking weird.
there are parts of it, and I think early in the very first song is a good example of this. It actually reminds me of Demilich sometimes because it has some of that weird angular riffing that
Yes,
you don't
definitely.
really feel like comes from Earth. But
That's yeah.
yeah, like I wouldn't come right out and say lubricant sounds like Demilich, but there are parts where it gives you the same like alien feeling that you get from Demilich going, what the fuck did I just listen to?
Yeah, as opposed to the next album that we'll do, that one's a little bit more kind of normal, but at the
It's kind of
same
straight.
time they
It's comparatively straightforward.
com yeah, compared to this, it's a little more
Yeah,
straightforward, but it's like it's still pretty bizarre the way they work that thing in there. And it's we'll get to that in a bit, but I think the one of the keys that Paul touched on was Xysma, Lubricant, and Pakeni are all influenced by Carcass. And
Yeah.
so I think
yeah,
that's a huge part of why these bands sort of sound like they do. It's
yeah,
because this is not just death and roll, this is gore grind and roll.
yeah.
It's
You
gore and roll.
definitely hear grind in there a lot, and you hear it more on the
Yeah.
demos too. So like that grinding influence is still there. I think it like lessens a little bit when they get to Nucleptia, but not hearing it, you'd have to be crazy not to.
Gore grind and roll. Convulse didn't really have that, but their quality just made up for the fact that they are not a carcass worship band. They sort of had their own ideas about it. I
Yeah.
think in the same way that like Lubricant and Xysma, it's one thing that they do have in common. It's almost nonsensical. Some of the riffs that come in after each other, like the songs are almost interchangeable, sort of. Um,
Hmm.
but another thing that I really appreciate about about Xysma and Lubricant, Pakeni not to the same extent, but Xysma and Lubricant, their riffs sound like uh, absolutely nobody's riffs, and
Yeah.
you would be hard pressed to say any of them sound even remotely generic. They're very inspired, whatever they are.
Yeah, I think
They just freaking rock.
like I don't mean this in like a derogatory way, but it seems very like down to earthish and almost like hippie-ish music.
Hmm.
Um, that this
Oh
like
yeah.
No, that's fine. I mean that works and that makes sense.
yeah, cause like I forget whose band photo it is. I think we always bring it up. Is it Afflicted?
Afflicted.
Yeah,
Afflicted, yeah.
like I can just imagine all these guys like that, you know, or um,
But the
Well, a lot
Finns
of them
did
dress
that.
like
They
hippies, and a lot of
dressed
them dress
somewhere
like
between
grunge
hippies
guys.
and Nirvana.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Like they loved their plaid.
hmm
That's a good look. I mean, because all that stuff again, like grunge, prog rock, hippie music, death metal. This is all like extremely like generative stuff in the beginning.
And I don't even
All these
think
bands are
that
trying to push. All these bands are trying to push forward. All these bands
Yeah.
are doing something new.
Like, I
no
think
one's out
Speaking
there.
of in the beginning, have you seen the some of the band photos on Tales from the Thousand Lakes? Like they're
Yeah,
it's like the most fucking finished thing you could imagine for death metal, and they're
that's
just
great.
decked
Those are
out in just
great
like
pictures. That's a
plaid,
great
and
look.
they look like they're dressed like Nirvana. It's great.
I like that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite looks. Just kind of street clothes. It's a
Yeah,
great look. And not even street clothes like we're trying to look badass. It's just like, hey, we're comfy,
this
dude.
this is just what I was happening to be wearing that day.
So I'm
this is
just
what I
wearing this.
found.
Like I'm going out, ma. It's like I'm wearing this.
I'm
And
all.
I was gonna say, with a lot of like, it's kind of counterintuitive. Like, you would think adding rock and roll into death metal would make things more accessible, but it's like completely alienating to the listener when you first come across something like that. I can't imagine.
When I show people this, they frown and they don't know how to think.
Yeah, it's like,
They just don't. The people don't know how to think in general.
yeah, it's true. The know nothings.
No nothings.
Yeah.
Your band's called Lubricant. Stupid. It's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it has like the same. It has like the same sort of themes as it's just like more of like a humorous side of like the medical, like carcass sort of names and stuff like that. Like that's how I always thought of lubricants. Like, yeah, I guess you could use it in like a like a medical context or something.
Yeah, maybe you could.
Yeah.
They have some interesting song titles in there too. Like it it's kind of taken from
They all
Carcass's.
almost seem made up.
They really dug deep. Like monohemorrhous
They really
joy.
did. It's like,
Monohemorrhous means like something that only lasts a day. So I don't know if they were thinking of like fruit flies or bacteria, something that only lives for one day, or something that only lasts for one day. But that's what that means, and it's there's very much a tongue-in-cheek aspect to the lyrics, which I enjoy too. It's
Yeah, very humorous. Yeah.
they take everything very mono humorous. Boo. They they obviously take the music like super seriously. Like it's not a joke band, but they're not like Carcass, right? They write things that have this kind of medical text to it, but then when you actually look at what they mean, you're like, okay, that's all right.
also with this idea of death and roll, maybe we can just say mainly from Finland. I think the two Lubricant and Pakeni releases are both on different sides of this of like amps or sounds.
Yeah.
Let's just say Lubricant, Xysma, Convulse on one side, and then on the other side you have stuff that's a little more groove oriented rather than riff oriented.
Yeah.
So on that side you would have Pakeni, Godfall,
Mhm.
Clayforge. Who else would be? It still has that feel, but it's a little bit more. It's kind of just it's more groove than the other side, which is riff song.
Yeah, literally
So-
the EP called "The Sound of Robo Groove."
Robo Groove, the sound of Robo Groove. I don't know if you ever heard of Clayforge.
Yeah, they were brought
Yeah,
up.
Cock introduced that, and I listened to that today. It's good, but it's a little bit more on the like groove metal side, which is fine. But I think there is a distinction between these two, like Xysma, Lubricant, Convulse. These are like super bright. The other side is more like almost modern metal bands or something.
Yeah, and then there's also a band I always forget to bring in there, Scum, with their second album, Purple Dreams and Magic Poems.
I never consider that to be death and roll. I consider that to be just like a mellow death album,
No, I consider it
or
a
like
little
a
death
death
and
metal
roll.
band, a death metal album that is melodic in parts.
Yeah, I consider it. I lump it in there. It's sort of like how I lump in paroxysm in the sound too.
Sure. Makes sense. Okay, so there's a few different parts here. There was a band from Finland I always tried to like. They were called Mind Riot. I could never get into it.
I think I.
Peak would be one of the albums that I used to check out.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
it looks death
remember.
and rollish too.
I remember that. I think I remember seeing, like, this is kind of the downfall of what I see as death and roll. You got the fucking girl on the cover with Inferno Go Go. Um, there's
Yeah,
bands.
that's no good. Yeah, see, that's no good.
Yeah,
The death and roll stuff that we're listening to and the stuff that Jeff Wagner wrote about, all those album covers looked psychedelic. They all look like weird, surrealistic shapes and like
Yeah, like
kind of some kind of
yeah, like look at Reflections like that. That's like a
look at
perfect.
reflections. Lubricant didn't really have that, but it's still trippy.
I think it was.
Looking,
Yeah, I think it was like more in the same camp of what like Xysma was going for. Like you get the Eastern Island heads like lined up, and then you kind of get this guy on a rock. Like it's just kind of more surrealist than.
Even Disgrace's Superhuman Dome is like that too.
Yeah, it's almost like a zoom in of like a molecule or something like that.
Yeah, Mind Riot. That's where you start to go like. We're a death metal band that goes to the strip club. We like to party. It's like, dude, that is not it.
Yeah, like there's
That's not the idea.
fucking terrible band Della Morte from Sweden.
I remember that.
From Sweden
Oh my
too.
god, I haven't heard about
Did
them
they
in
have the
ages.
fucking, like car on the album cover or
I
something?
think so, and like Home Sweet Hell. Oh no, that's like a looks like a Mortician cover or something. Looks like just some guy like banging a corpse or something, or holding the corpse. In the album that I know, Uglier and More Disgusting. And then there's
I think death and roll should not actually be about killing people. I know that's a little bit contradictory, but I think death and roll should be about like trippy diseases or like trippy concepts, like Fred said, a fruit fly living for a day or something.
I'm looking at this, comparing Wolverine Blues cover to the one I just mentioned from Della Morte, and it seems like they just kind of copied that same sort of layout. It's like an image bordered in black and then like a red logo. It's like, all right, you're taking from the wrong fucking places, man.
Yeah. Like Jubb might say, this is the real stuff, not for Quakers.
Yeah.
This is the stuff. These few bands.
Yeah, and I'm surprised we haven't done anything with Death and Roll earlier than the times we have, or gone more in depth with like our favorites of it besides Corpse for Me and stuff. But with like Xysma or Convulse or something, because
I mean Jubb did cover Xysma, but Xysma's a popular band and people know them. Lubricant people seem to know as well, but I don't see them getting a lot of love. Especially from like the YouTube world.
Yeah, they
Pakeni, absolutely not. People probably don't even know who that is.
No, not even the guy who fucking wrote a book about it.
It's funny. For such an influential band, I don't really hear about Xysma that much. It's
a shame.
Whenever Finnish death metal comes up, it's always the Demigods, Demilich, and so forth. But Xysma feels like it's almost brought up like an afterthought, which is weird. Like, Fata Morgana is such a crusher of an EP, and that coming out in 1990 is, how can you not bring them up?
I think a lot of people just are so turned off by Death and Roll, or they don't know what to think of it, and they're like, oh, this is, kind of like how I said it, but in a more derogatory term, like,
Hey,
they're
used to. Is this progressive death metal, or is this technical is this brutal death metal, or just old school death metal? Death and roll from Finland, fucking. Ooh!
yeah.
People don't know what to think. When you say that, they go, what? What? Like a confused woman. Oh, what? Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would rather have it as it is now, with no one trying to ape this sound, because it's been perfected.
It's been perfected, and it really has. These albums are perfect.
Yeah, and they're just
these
like
these classics.
little EPs. Like, there isn't much else to say.
They're not even albums.
I'm really worried about how like more modern bands would take that sound and
Uranus did it. The guys from Galvanizer, but they kind
oh
of I feel
really?
like they failed.
They
Their
did.
version was boring.
They
Their
really,
version was dumb. Like it
yeah.
wasn't bright. It was like it almost sounded more like Wolverine Blues or something.
It's like again, it's just like what people hear of Death and Roll is just that album, and then the same conversations happen. Oh, I like the first two better, blah blah blah. Like why they change, blah blah. And I think a lot of people thought uh, like the Finns were like kind of trend hopping or something, but death metal was kind of dead by the point they were changing things, right? Like that's the consensus, right?
The
Yes.
Finns were not trend hopping. Like that's
No.
the biggest crock shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
The Finns did whatever the fuck they wanted. Like Finnish death metal, it sounds like parallel lines meeting. Like it's just fucking weird. They did whatever the hell they wanted, and it shows.
Yeah,
People
and
these days look at Finnish death metal. They see like the most streamlined, straightforward parts of it, and they go, "That's crushing. That's crushing." When I look at Finnish death metal, I want like the most like confusing shit. That's like what?
Yeah.
Like this is pretty cool. I like the
Yeah.
weird shit. I like Nomicon. I like Convulse. I like you know, all. I like Rectum.
Yeah,
Oz.
Fester Day.
You know, the one that I like that no one really seems to appreciate too much
Kinda gave it.
is Funebrae, Children of the Scorn. The sound on that is so
Love it,
bizarre.
love it. That is so weird.
It's
like in,
such a bizarre
it's-
album.
It's in standard. It's like the riffs make the Funebrae reminds me a lot of Xysma too, where it's like these riffs make no sense next to each other. It's like whatever,
Yeah.
let's do it.
It's such a
That's,
weird
that's
album.
good stuff. Children of the Scorn is especially special. I think
Yeah.
that's and everybody likes the demos because it's like it's crushing, it's heavy. It's like yeah, but the album is bizarre and not even in a way that's like you wouldn't call it progressive metal, but it's extremely different
Yeah.
and very kind of it's very listenable. I think that's why I love these bands is because they are pretty in your face with what they're doing. Like you're not really gonna miss anything.
Yeah, the crazy thing is too for Children of the Scorn, the guys who recorded that then just vanished. Like they didn't do anything after Funebrae in metal anyways.
Oh,
Like-
I know the guys from Funebrae were involved in Instrument and Monstrosity, which are
Those
very-
those guys quit before the album.
Oh, did they?
Yep, those two were not
That's
on the album.
Huh.
And the recording lineup for the album does not. Those guys weren't in any other bands, and they didn't do anything after
Just saying
Children of the
that's
Scorn.
another great example of just like weird shit. Those three bands together, I love that stuff. I
Yeah,
might want to cover the Monstrosity demo too. I heard that recently. I'm like, wow, this is really good actually.
you got the shirt, bro.
I know, bro. That's good shit.
Yeah. But Fred, how did you get into Lubricant? How did you find out about them?
I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure a friend of mine showed them to me, and I know I got my copy when a guy was selling his collection in like 2011, and I bought a lot of stuff from this guy. Like I dropped almost $1,000 on this guy over the course of 3 purchases, and Nookleptia was one of the first things I picked up from him because it's such a great and bizarre little EP.
Like you heard it before and from your friend, and then you saw it and bought it, or
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Pretty sure my friend sent me ripped his copy, sent me the files, and then when I saw this guy selling the copy, I picked it up.
and what'd you think
So-
of it when your friend showed you?
I remember thinking it was weird. Especially parts on like the second track, Thrombos, where it kicks into these kind of awkward, clean vocals. At first, I was like, I don't know about this, but
That shit's so good.
well, that's the thing, right? Like on the spot, I was like, oh, I don't know about this, but then I went back and just played it again immediately, and it didn't take long to to click in. And they are awkward, they are weird, but that's kind of the charm of Finnish death metal to begin with. Like, awkward and weird is what they're all about.
Like, what
So
is the fifth?
it's I don't know, like it's always stuck out to me as one of the weirder and more eccentric Finnish releases. I mean, one look at the cover and it's pretty obvious. Yeah, I don't know, it's always had a bit of a special place for me when it comes to Finnish death metal. It ranks pretty highly for me.
Yeah. I just came across another fucking band that's terrible death and roll. McCuperland, the German band.
Who?
They have the album Sicko Baby, and it's kind of like pungent stenchcore
Oh no.
death and
Oh,
roll.
no.
Horny like
That sounds
hell.
like-
Hey,
that sounds
didn't
like,
Pyogenesis have a death and roll stint, or am I just making shit up now?
Actually, they kind of did. Yeah, they did. They were.
Wasn't
good
it
at
like wave?
They were actually-
Didn't Waves of Arotasia and X-rated Nothings have some? Like, this, it's been a really long ass time since I listened to those. I don't usually listen to much past the self-titled EP, but didn't those two have some inklings
Yes.
of death and roll? Yeah.
Yes. I think the album was called like Twin Nail something.
Oh, Twin Ale Blood.
Twin Nail Blood. Yeah, that's their like death and roll album. I
Oh,
forgot
okay.
about this one, and it's good. It's a bit different. I think it's a little bit closer to like pop punk or something, but it's still
I
Yeah.
should revisit the stuff that came after the well-known EP, the one with the cathedral interior
That one
on
almost
the
has death
cover.
and roll like adjacent melodies in it too, and it has like clean vocals and stuff.
It does. It's kind of like
Yeah.
almost like My Dying Bride goes lightly death and roll at times.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Twin Ale Blood from Pyogenesis. Totally forgot about this one. Probably gonna have to revisit. That was good stuff.
I forgot.
Oh, Paul, you don't like Sicko Baby?
No, not too much.
I like that one.
I was gonna say, you brought up it's like kind of like grind and roll earlier, and I was thinking that a lot of like the gore grind stuff does have a little bit more of like not like death and roll stuff, but definitely an expansion of like the groovier side of that,
Yeah.
like the Godfall and stuff like that, with like cock and ball
Yes.
torture, and then you even have like Inferia too, where they go into their sort of more like gore grind sections with like
Not
Masterpiece
really
and
familiar
stuff like
with
that. Yeah, well, I really love the fucking EP from them,
Yeah.
Spawned
I
at
remember that
Dawn.
just being really brutal sounding.
Yeah, that's
Almost
like,
to an unlistenable extent.
yeah, it's like almost like Vaughn, but fucking like Finnish death metal. It's
I
great.
remember that's been on your list for a long time. Maybe we'll get to that one day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. But then they went more porno grind and gore grind sort of stuff, and I think that has like again, like I said, a sort of reiteration or expansion on the other side of death and roll, where it's a little bit more just catchy and groove oriented. But
Interesting point. I think by the time you get to Cock and Ball Torture, you just kind of call that porno grind.
yeah,
Like that's what that sound is. It is groovy, yeah. Well, even what do you call it? Romper Prop. They refer to themselves as groovy gore grind. So,
yeah.
there you go.
And then how I got into this, Dan obviously showed me, and then
I did.
we ended up
Good
like,
job, Dan.
covering
We
cover
we
their
covered,
songs,
the song Declaration of Galloping Consumption.
covered them. We
It's one
covered.
of the first things we did.
I did vocals for a Xysma cover we did, so it's just like we kind of just fell in love with this, and it's always just been such a just one of my personal like favorite genres in death metal. It's like up there with like the Cataclysm core and melodic death metal for me. It just like you can hear our iterations of it on in Necrotic Mess of just trying to take that sound and run with it like no one has before, and yeah, it's just such a special special release, in particular with Lubricant. And should we get into listening to some tracks for it?
Shit, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
I
let's-
figured Dan would take the reins on the tracks with these ones, like I did with Stonehenge. Unless you wanted us to
Okay.
pick.
How about Laceration of Vasoconstrictive Emotion?
Cool. You want to do 2 each or just 1 each?
Yeah, let's do 2 each.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
can get a feel of what really goes on here.
All right. So that's going to be track 4, and then we'll be right back.
Pregnancy is meant to be a beautiful human child. Was now ripped to promote the vampire sex inside his poor mother. Poor mother. After 7 months, progressing the feelings of falls normal, and it is a real meaning of those periods. Feels and suffering. The geniuses seem to be better, but this mind is a real darkness to the pursuits of the monster. After 2 years of bomb back its eternal end will be the other side. Why can't they be considered as a normal human being? Why?
Side of this fire, got euphoria from eating flesh. Evolution of individual, demanded deliverance of distress.
Soul has passed the past.
All right, we're back from the 4th track.
Dude,
You know, for a long time, I always thought there was just like a tiny bit of a woman singing on that
Yeah,
last like
me too.
twinging part. Is there actually like it feels like it's just an echo of the sound that you hear.
It sounds like a whole like octave higher.
Are you
Like
talking
so.
about that guitar sound that goes?
No, it's like
Yeah.
someone saying fucking words.
Oh,
But like, is actually, you know, hang on. I'm gonna check.
during that part though, at the end,
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the booklet, see if there's a woman in
it's
credit
hard
anywhere
to
in here.
tell, but I think it's a clean guitar that's echoed a lot. That's what it sounds like.
That's what I think it is. But like, before I really like listened to it and thought about it, I thought it was a woman singing, but I don't see one credited in the booklet anywhere. So I guess not.
Pretty interesting way to
Why would you credit a woman?
like throw in
I'm
little
just kidding.
eccentricities.
Wow.
What's that?
I said, why would you credit a woman?
Why would you? Oh well. Why? You can consider this a human? Why?
Yeah, and like during those spacey parts, it feels like I mentioned it while we were listening. It feels like you're getting like abducted or something, and you're kind of in suspended animation or something.
Really, it feels like you're kind of floating. It's
Yeah.
it's hard to tell what you're supposed to be feeling at that part. Because what is this song about? Siamese twins being born?
Yeah.
Those
Doctor screams when he sees Siamese twins.
those weird clean vocals, I guess, in towards the middle, kind of reminds me of the clean vocals on Tales from the Thousand Lakes, because they're a bit more like nasal.
Yeah, I was saying it's kind of
Finish.
like the Professor Snape vocals you hear in like Gothic and Death Doom or something, but you know, in a whole other context where it makes it sound just completely alien.
I used to love that too. I would hear that in Convulse when they would have just like talking parts, and then there's like Gothic Death Doom bands did that as well.
Yeah, it's so good.
But then you also have like a surfer doing vocals.
Oh yeah. One strange
It
not to
wants
die.
be left to die.
Yeah. Yeah, the surf
That's
part.
great. That is so cool.
Yeah, and I love the main riffing. It's you know, the only thing I can bring in comparison is like Xysma with the
That's like a normal rock riff, kind of, but the grooves are all messed up, and then the beat just kind of like, and then the kind of.
yeah, and even in their single note riffing, it has strange rhythms to it. It's not just a straight tremolo. At least on the left hand, like it seems to be doing like hammer-ons in between there, and it's just so strange.
There's hammer-ons and there's bends too. It's
Yeah. like that,
And
like
there's not much distortion on the amp too.
yeah. There's just so much like inflection being used in the left hand there, and you know, right's just you know tremolo picking, and when they first introduced that, you would expect them to go right into a blast beat, but they have like a death metal or just like a rock groove going behind it, and then from there, then they give you what you want, which is the more death and grindy spot right after, and it's just so great. The bass tone sounds amazing too on like both breaks. It's just like such a lot happens in this song, even though there's parts that repeat.
Yeah.
It's not just verse chorusy, like they just bring back some great moments and then go into other things from there. It's very like exploratory with this and psychedelic, which is kind of where I get the hippie vibe from, but it's so good. And
Good melody at the end there.
yeah, that was such a great outro. And
This. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna mention that second guitar that just does like one strum. Fring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so good. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this vocalist I think is one of my favorites too. He does a really good job.
Yeah, you can almost hear him like foaming at the mouth or something as he's.
Yeah, it sounds really fucking savage. Like both of the vocals, those and then his, that are a little bit more like kind of the biggest death metal vocals that I've ever heard. It's like they're some of the most powerful vocals I've ever heard.
Yeah.
They're very sharp, and he doesn't draw the words out, so it sounds very like blunt or very what's the word I'm looking for? Like he,
It's like exact or clinical or something.
yeah, like it actually kind of reminds me of. I mean, there's been no surprise here, but Carcass on the
Yeah.
first, especially on the first album where he kind of like rasps out the medical terms fairly quickly. That's what I get. Like he doesn't draw the words out at all. They're shot out in very quick bursts, and it sounds very
He's able
vicious.
to do that and do the guttural sort of simultaneously. That's pretty different. I think that's why they kind of stand out. You can definitely hear the Carcass influence, but he has a much different way of doing it. He sounds more powerful than Jeff Walker does.
Yeah.
I think
Sounds
it's
like
not
he-
only
yeah,
not only
Walker.
that, but the
Sounds like
when
he chew on it.
Carcass did it, they were doing it over just flat out grind, right? He's doing it over these weird,
Grooves.
janky riffs where they stand out more because of it, right? Because when in Carcass on the first album and second album too, like it's just a flurry of grind, right? Whereas this, those vocals don't get lost in anything; they're right up front. So I think they make much more of an impact than they ever did on Carcass.
Yeah, and even when Carcass went into their, death and roll sort of stuff and hard work, it was very morphed to the songs, whereas this is like still has that like savage performance that you would hear on the later or the earlier Carcass records and stuff.
Yeah, it still sounds like dirty fucking cult grind.
Yeah, instead of like Keep a Rocket, like very fucking.
Yeah, it doesn't sound anything like that, and he's saying weird shit. Like it's just, it's such a perfect looking thing. The logo is beautiful. Everything about this EP and this band is like, oh man, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's one of these things like lubricant, dude. Lubricant.
Yeah,
It's
fantastic.
not lubricant; it's more like lubricant. Am I right?
There you
Yes, lubricant, do it. Lubers.
Stupid.
go. But you guys got anything else to say about this one, or should we move on to the next?
On to
Yeah,
the
let's
next.
go on to the next one. Semi-starvation.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry.
Me too. All right, we'll be right back.
Refugees, you
Alright, we're back from the semi-starvation. We all took a little nibble and we're good.
Yeah, that song is about like being hungry and pooping or something. Lack of nutrients, evacuation, examination, canceration, integration. I like with this guy. He rhymes shun and he rhymes cis a lot. It's
Yeah,
funny.
it's very medical. A lot of shuns.
Shuns, a lot of interesting drum beats.
Yeah, it's just constant change and creativity with the drum beats, and it's only something that can be made coupled with riffs like that, where it leaves a lot of
complicated riffs, but they are very.
That's what I'm saying. It leaves a
very
lot
on
of
their own.
it leaves a lot of room to breathe for like the drummer to do something, because you can obviously do like a just a regular rock groove, but here he's going above and beyond, and it's just like his playing so tight. It's like what you would think of like just like grime bands, but he's actually doing more than just like blasting D beats and skanks.
It's kind of crazy that there really aren't any parts during that feel forced whatsoever. Like they perfectly integrate all the riffs. Where
Yeah.
it can go from kind of rocking to grooving to like an emotional thing, and then when they start to grind for like they don't go fast that often, but when they do, it sounds fucking like bestial. It sounds intense.
Yeah,
and
all-
even though the
Yeah.
guitars are not super like distorted or anything.
Yeah, and they do that within a single riff. The riff will be playing 4 times. There's 4 different drum beats. One of them just so
Yeah.
happens to be a grind, fucking, offbeat sort of
And they
thing.
change the guitar like picking style too. It like everything kind of changes a lot
Yeah,
within maybe the let's just say what do they have like 5-6 riffs? Those change like 4 or 5 times each.
yeah. And I was
Maybe
saying a
more.
lot of like the transitions, they're getting a lot of mileage out of the riffs that they're coming out of, and they change it a little bit. They'll have like little cymbal choke sections, and it just either reducing the riff or extending it and making it into something a little bit longer to get out of these sections, and it just makes it flow so much better rather than like throwing in like a random riff to be a transitionary section, even though when they do that it all works out well too. Like these guys honestly have done no wrong in songwriting. So good.
Really good at introing and like keeping everything good, and then like think about that intro. It kind of starts off with that big weird riff, and then into that keyboard thing that goes.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
That was weird, but that was great. And then how do they end it with like all the vocalists yelling and the guy, like you have the extra vocalists in there.
Yeah.
And the previous song, it's like the middle section you sort of have that surfer voice, and then at the end you have like that extra melody to like make it real sad, and it just ends on that doom doom doom. So these guys are really so fucking sophisticated. It's I don't know, man. It's like really amazing. This is it's crazy that this exists in what it is. This is one of the trippiest, like best written death grind records ever.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so at the top.
AI wouldn't be able to do anything like this. If you're like, oh, combine death metal and rock and roll, you're gonna get the graveyard classics.
Yeah, and the graveyard classics for you. You hand them that. And it's like lubricant you give to your bro. It's like some guy that's like a fucking Punisher. You give him graveyard classics. It's like yeah. Here's your death and roll, dude.
They're like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to this guy again. He gave me 6 feet under. Good.
6 feet under.
Why?
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of these, yeah, he'll squeal like the pig that he is. I think a lot of people sort of have this idea that's true in a lot of ways, where it's like newer bands. Which we talk about this a lot. It's like newer bands just the creativity is not there, and it's like even the attempt to try to like emulate something like Lubricant is not there. Man, whatever it is about the early '90s and some of these the best records is extremely impressive, and this still impresses me to this day. It was one of my early favorites in high school, and I'm more impressed by it now than I was then. Man, it stands the test, and it like shits on everything now.
I think like this, it has such an immediacy to it too. There isn't like a lot of stuff going on at the same time, but like every moment is changing and has your attention through it. So if you're like intently listening, you're gonna capture everything that's going on in this record.
Like I said, I'm like, did you hear that guitar stop? I don't think anybody even heard it. There was like, during that riff, they stopped playing the guitar and the drums keep going on. It's very clever.
Like I don't know, like there's bands that bear repeat listens to like get everything out of it, but I feel like when you listen to this intently, you're gonna get everything out of it, and when you re-listen,
just once.
Yeah, and when you re-listen, you're gonna be like, oh, here comes my favorite part. You know, it has like such a anticipation in songwriting where you know everything's gonna you know where everything's gonna hit, and it's like it's just like perfect like that, because it just, I don't know, it's not like so weird where like, oh, this came out of nowhere. It's like, oh, my favorite part's gonna come right now, you know. And I think that's what you get out of repeat listens for this when you get it. You know, if you don't get it, this is just, your eyes are gonna glaze over and you're not gonna appreciate what this is, which is just,
you're gonna die of semi-starvation and no one's gonna care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On this song, I think you can hear the grind a lot more on this one. Like they cut loose a little bit more on it. And it's weird because you can still hear it while they're doing the rockier riffs at the same time. It's I don't know how to describe it, but it comes out a lot more on this one for me than the last track we played.
Yeah, I'll say this one had a little less of their like oddities in it. Like probably the weirdest part in this was the keyboard.
Intro. Yeah.
And then it's just more of like the riffing that you heard throughout the EP, just sort of like condensed, and it's just like a great final statement, you know. It's like if you made it here.
Yeah, and the oddities are just that. They're like little things sprinkled here and there throughout the EP. It doesn't really make the band what it is. They just sort of make it a little bit cooler.
And it's not gimmicky at all.
Not at all. You don't expect it, and
no.
You don't understand it. I think that's sort of what can help avoid the gimmick. It's like, okay, what's the gimmick here? Can you tell me if there is a gimmick? What's the gimmick? You can't say that it's rock and roll because it barely is, and you wouldn't know that unless they told you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if somebody didn't say, "Hey, this is death and roll," you wouldn't know what to call this.
No, yeah, they have like it's not on the nose. It's just very very well digested, and they come out
Oh
with
yeah.
their own sound out of it. Versus like the bands you hear like that spawn from Wolverine Blues. It's like just so on the nose. You get the fucking solos. You
Yeah,
get
exactly.
just the
Yeah.
regular 2/4 drum beats. Like here you're
Yeah,
getting like
you get the same old bullshit.
yeah, like here
Where
you
this
got
is like far from it.
you
This is
got
genius.
condensed drum and bass Powerpuff Girls beat in there. You get like just so much like great sections and um, something that you can only pinpoint to themselves and like Xysma also doing this, but I think this is sort of like a um, double speed version of what Xysma was doing on Yeah, and
Yeah, this is more it's more digested, and it's more like just condensed. It's so much quicker.
yeah, and I'll say while we were listening to this, like the production and recordings on here is just so great. It almost has like
Oh yeah.
that like 70s prog rock sort of uh, production style where everything's just so clear and condensed and recorded well. It's so uh, isolated from each other. You can like zero in on whatever instrument you want to and follow along to the tracks there, and you can hear the performance on there. Like you could just feel how like savagely the drummers and how fast he's moving across the whole kit. It's just so amazing. You can just tell from the clarity of the ride cymbal. Like that's something that you get only in like Lubricant and Xysma
Yeah.
in this style. It's so great.
Sir. All right. Shall we move on?
I don't
I
want
would say
to.
so.
All right. Yeah, this will be shorter on account of it's a band who is not as influential and not as known, and they're kind of nobodies. I don't think they were in any other bands. Like Paul said, that one guy was in disgrace at some point. Um, funny, the vocalist was in a band called Selfish Pussies live. Okay, very good. But yeah, this is Pakeni. What does that name mean? It says the name Pakeni is a pun on carcass. The word carcass sounds like the Finnish word karkas, which in the past tense means to escape, and in a spoken word, the
Carcass.
past tense would be Pakeni. So you've escaped, I guess. Pakeni, we've escaped. Whatever. That's a stupid name, but it's kind of I like the name Pakeni. Sounds weird. Pakeni. So these guys, I don't actually know if I've ever heard their very first demo. So I don't know what it sounds like. It says death metal grindcore. These guys might have just been a death metal grindcore band in the beginning, in 1993 when Lubricant had Nookleptia out. But by the next demo in the same year, 93, they have Virgin's Delirium, which is
Great
fully
demo.
fleshed out. What's that? Yeah, fully fleshed out, kind of like groovy blues rock infused gore grind. Pretty much is what it is. It's good. It's very good. I think they and skipping Detergent Bubble Bath because we're gonna talk about that next. But to go to Celestial Mechanics, I've heard this album a few times. It's okay. I feel like this goes overboard a little bit with a lot of the experimentation and kind of it's the same old same old. It's a cool album. I might come back to it again one day.
Yeah, it
But,
doesn't really stick like this one does.
No,
I was
Detergent
I
Bubble
didn't get a chance
Bath,
to listen to it. I was wondering what you're gonna say about it.
Yeah, that's it goes a little bit too far. It's still in the same vein, but it's this one. I think all you have to do is look at it and know that it's great. And look at that title. It's called Detergent Bubble Bath. That sounds nice, right? And it's got some amoeba with a pink fonted name, just Pakeni right there.
Yeah, Fred thought it
This
was a
is-
rabbit.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's
Hear me out. Tilt your head to the right, and that amoeba on the right, which is white, looks like a rabbit with its an eye, a button eye on the on its right side, or sorry, its left side, and then
guess
the
it looks like
amoeba
a
to the left
peak,
of that
maybe.
is like its torso floating, and then the two little ones on the left look like its feet floating through whatever it's floating in. So
Oh, I see what Fred's saying. I see exactly what he's saying.
it looks like a stuffed rabbit got dropped in some acid or something.
Yeah, that's
Come
what
on,
it does.
Freddie.
It does.
We're
I see that.
Come on, Freddie. We're almost to your room.
You know what? Dan sees it too, so shut up.
I see.
I'm
I
just
see
kidding.
it.
I see it too.
At first, I'm like, it looks like a peep, like one of those rabbit peeps.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay, but yeah, it's pretty much as I. This one is just as I described. Groovy, like groove metal, infested, kind of grinding, like death grind ish, kind of stuff. It's pretty creative. There's a lot of eccentricities in this, and there are some pretty good like bluesy rock riffs, which usually would turn me off. But here, they've sort of made everything so spazzy. And again, I think just like Lubricant, these guys are really good at moving things around and just songwriting in general. And again, vocals are terrific. Sounds a lot like Lubricant, but not as alien. This sounds more. Honestly, this sounds kind of like kids who were listening to Lubricant and attempting to do something similar. And I think they have, and they've done something a bit different. I've heard from people say things like, "This sounds like Soundgarden, like spazzed out or something." So, you know, that's maybe a takeaway.
Yeah, I think that the year this comes out is very telling of how this sounds. It is what I would like to think that the progression of Death and Roll will become, where it's a little bit more condensed and spazzier sections. Everything's moving simultaneously. There's a little bit more of like I don't want to say like gimmicky sort of eccentricities, but there's a little bit more wild experimentation with their parts, whereas like in Lubricant you can hear that stuff being very organic to the sound, where this has a little bit of stuff that like kind of stands out, like, oh shit, that was weird, what I just hear.
This almost seems like at the same time it's a groovy thing, but this
Yeah.
seems deliberately like it's taking influence from 70s stuff. Like there's a lot of keyboards in here.
Yeah,
for example.
you got the women backing vocals and stuff
You got
like
the
that.
lady backing vocals like it's some kind of fucking funk band or something.
Yeah, well, I think, again, like, you get that sort of influence from the bigger bands, like, where they got Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is basically like a fucking funk band, especially in their albums released during that time.
Yeah, but again, this is like, not to take away, this is still extremely gnarly. This is very gnarly music.
Yeah, it definitely is up there with the other releases, but that's only because there's so few that are actually good. Like these guys, like if you're doing it, like you got it right, and these guys got it right.
Definitely.
I think it might be one of the. Well, I think Dominus actually comes a year after this, but I think these two records might be like the last.
Last of the Death and Roll like real lineage.
Yeah, like the actual good stuff.
I think that one that I was talking about, Clay Forge, that one comes out pretty late too. I think that comes out in 99.
Okay.
I think 98. And I think that's a good one. That's actually one of the good ones. And there was one more that we've been talking about. What about Godfall? I think
that's 98.
96. The album?
I think it's 98.
Was it Godfall? No, it's 95.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So a year after Convulse. But this again is a little bit different. This is almost going into fucking like alt rock direction or something.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Gorefest on Erase, where it has not as much as on Gorefest, but it has a certain weird level of restraint where you kind of expect that they're going to go all out and go balls to the wall, but they don't. They kind of just keep hammering away at it at a certain pace, and kind of not like the song's anticlimactic, but it doesn't go the direction or escalate the way you think it would, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and I can hear this having what was I gonna say? Oh man, I'm blanking out. Save me.
Let's play a song.
There you go.
I hold on before we do that. An observation that like maybe it's there, maybe it isn't. Yes, everything is very well done. Like everything. Drums are brutal. It's fast. It's like retardedly chaotic. And I think by doing all these things together, it kind of creates a comedic effect. Like if Lubricant wasn't funny, it was almost if Lubricant was almost funny, this is definitely like it's kind of funny. It's so weird that it's kind of funny. And it's
Okay.
so brutal that like makes it but like these ideas together, it would be hard to imagine what something like this how this even comes to be. It's very very bizarre, almost in a different way more bizarre than Lubricant.
I remember what I was gonna say. The riffing on here is very like a lot of the death and roll sort of main riffing that they do on here
Yeah.
sounds very much the same from song to song. Like they're just kind of going off of like a motif.
Yeah.
And
different iterations of kind of the same idea.
yeah, whereas like Lubricant was just like original with every time they did something like that. And here it seems like it's very motivic, and you can hear basically like little changes here and there on the like main riffing, which is like the power chorded
Yeah.
like that sort of kind of riffing.
It feels much more deliberate.
Yeah, and I think like Dan kind of hit it on the head. It's like these guys sort of heard what was going on with Death and Roll, because this came out at a time where all the great albums were already out, or great releases were already out. So it's like you have this. Here's the second wave basically of this stuff, and I think it stands up to those releases, but does lack a little bit of that originality. Instead of going back to the source, which is what like Carcass and Chili Peppers and stuff like that, you go right from the bands that sort of perfected that sound. So you go to like Xysma and Lubricant, and you come out with something like this, and to make it more creative and progress this genre, you're gonna make everything kind of times two with the spasticness, the eccentricities, and the brutality.
Honestly, the guitar, the way the guitar riffs are played too, if you really pay attention, they're actually kind of tricky. Like it's not as easy as you would imagine. There's a lot of very subtle things in there that are like you just wouldn't catch.
Yeah.
There was something else I was gonna say about this. I think this is actually probably more influenced by the Xysma album, First and Magical, because that one had a bunch of keyboards. That one had a bunch of these like, like not Pantera, but like things like that. Those like stop start riffs,
Yeah.
things like that. So I think that maybe this is more on the level of that. I think it goes a little bit farther with the spasticness, and because First and Magical, again, that's funny. Like it's so absurd that it's funny. This is, I think, in the same direction. This is maybe a little bit more. I think this is actually more brutal than the two albums. Like it has a little bit more fierceness, while the other bands have their originality. I think it's a few years later.
This definitely grinds more.
Yeah, it does. Okay, well, there's nothing else to say. Get into a track.
Yeah.
Yep. Which one?
Okay, we will go with track 3, Reanimate the Way.
Nice.
All right, we'll be right back.
Figures
We're back, reanimated. So
Reanimates.
yeah, that definitely has such a more industrial mechanic feel than from the organic sort of hippie-ish vibes that you get from Lubricant and Xysma. Um, I think you made a good point about it being very like groove oriented, and even over the blast beats there, you can hear the syncopation on the snare drum with the riff. Like when there's negative space, there's no snare drum there either. It's very yeah, and
Yeah, it stops and it's like.
and I think that's sort of what I meant with a lot of the riffs being like motivic, and it's like these rhythms, and they're just doing just heavy like low notes on the guitar in a different rhythm. It's like the same notes, and they kind of move the song along with a lot of those sections where
Yeah, it's like down, 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 down.
yeah,
That's
where
like kind of the same thing.
where like Lubricant has, I can kind of I guess confidently say that it's like their sort of riff going on, and it's just creative every time, but you can tell it's coming from the same source. Whereas like here, you can obviously tell it's coming from the same source, but there's more creativity in the rhythms that they're doing rather than like the notes and way that they're playing it.
Yeah.
There is a lot of creativity in the notes as well. It's I've never really heard anything that sounds quite like this. And like I said, if you pay attention to a lot of the tail ends of stuff, there's a lot of just kind of tricky shit that you probably wouldn't recognize.
Yeah, and they have like the harmonic thing there, and here they you finally get a solo in Death and Roll.
You get a solo, you get some clappings and some hey.
You get the
And
cowboy
weird,
riff.
Weird, the female vocals, like they don't even sing. She's like just going, hey.
Yeah.
Like what? So I think for me, this is kind of the perfect mix of like spastic shit, brutal death metal, and just trippy shit. So I love that.
Yeah. It's very how Lubricant is just very exploratory. Here it's like so contained, even though like it sort of gets outside of the box with the eccentricities that they bring in with like the claps and the vocals, having a bit of variety there, but like the main meat. Damn, Fred. You're clicking.
Oh, weird. Hang on. Let me unplug
Started off
and
with
replug.
There you go. Yeah, almost sounded like a riff from here or something. But yeah, it's just very like they get outside of the box with those eccentricities, whereas like Lubricant was just there was never a box in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
there is a
funny,
little
though,
bit of a
because
box, but go ahead, Fred.
I was gonna say it was funny because Paul mentioned that this sounded kind of industrial when we were listening to it, and I had thought the same thing. It didn't really occur to me what it reminded me of, but it reminds me of Godfletch's Street Cleaner.
Yeah, I
Like,
can hear that
it
with like
has
the
that-
drum beat.
Yeah, and I think this is this track's also a good example of why it reminded me of Gorefest's Erase. It has that same kind of the pacing is very, very similar to what you see on that album. It's fairly steady, and it's restrained in that it doesn't ever really go as balls to the wall as you think it might on a death metal album.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like waiting for it to do that, and it doesn't. And I find that it doesn't have as much of a release as I would like it to have at times.
Yeah, it doesn't have like a big climax, but
Yeah.
it does have like these seeping out moments with
Yeah.
like the eccentricities that come out of here, and it doesn't come off like too like way too gimmicky, like this is the band with the claps in it or something like that. It's all like all the things that they have in here are very varied, and it seems like all those little releases and seeps or like energy releasing is seeping out during those moments, but everything else is sort of containing it in there. Like the songs aren't getting to a particular moment. They're, it's just all already happening as it's going along. It's sort of interesting in that way.
We didn't really talk about this much with Lubricant, or this song. It kind of didn't have it, but there, for the most part, there is a pretty good sense of melody in with both the releases. We might touch on it with Lubricant, but that had like a
Oh, it's
pretty
fantastic. Yeah.
decent, yeah, pretty decent chunks of like melodic parts. This also has that. If I'm not, this song really kind of didn't have that. This song is just one that I like, and we can choose two that do different things. I believe the next one
Oh,
has
the
a
next
little
one's
bit
great.
more of the. Yeah, I believe that the next one has a little bit more of a melodic touch to it. Um, but yeah, we'll see. That'll be 9:45. We'll do Portrait.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're back from the Portrait.
All right, obviously a funny song.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite song.
What do the girls say?
Ah.
The opening riff is a lot more.
You've never seen.
It's a lot more in line with what we heard on Lubricant on this one. They adventured a bit more on this one.
Yeah, definitely. What a great opening riff, and I think that getting away from the more rhythmic sections, they really shined here with the sort of single-noted, more left-handed guitar work that really shines. Even during the girl vocal part, there's like just such a great melody being played that laid a great foundation for that to really
Got keyboards
pop out.
behind it. That whole part like pops out to you like ear candy.
Yeah, and they do like the disco beat in there. It's just a lot more variety in the actual like band rather than, of course there's more stuff in the eccentricities here too. And like I said in the last
I mean,
song,
why not? Why not have a band like this? Why
Yeah.
not have a record like this?
yeah, it's just so great. They did everything in like the right way, where this could easily be like it's kind of like you said, kind of silly in like an absurd way, but there could be some silly and like just kind of like a sad way, like, oh, this is fucking really stupid.
Yeah, this is stupid. I don't think this is bad. Like, I think the songwriting here is good, and I think it's like pulled off really well. Everything sounds good. Like
Yeah,
the vocals, drums, guitar, everything is like the musicians. They got it. None of it sounded bad. The girl vocal sounded great. Everything was kind of just on point. Nice job, Kenny. That's it. That's it for me. Yeah, that's honestly my final words on that. If maybe we'll have something to say about the poll at the end, but you guys can go ahead and give your finishing thoughts.
go ahead, Freddie.
Yeah. No, it's a funny EP. This one was new to me because I didn't. I'd heard of the name, but never really spent any time listening to them.
There's a
So
reason
this was.
probably why people don't talk about this one. It's too silly.
I don't know about too silly, but it wasn't as. It's not as engaging as Lubricant. Like I'll give
Well,
it that.
Lubricant, you
Of
could
the
say
two,
like that's a death metal album. This one, you'd be hard pressed to say it's a death metal album. It's
Yeah.
got death metal
Yeah.
things about it,
It's
but it's
not-
not really. Doesn't really scratch that itch.
Yeah.
It's too weird.
No.
It's
The mainstream death metal brothers like
away.
Lubricant more so than this.
Yeah. This would like make the mainstream death metal brothers frown.
Yeah, they're like, this isn't death metal, dick.
Death metal, and not just our death metal brothers, but any listeners out there, your own personal mainstream death metal brothers, whoever that may be.
yeah.
They won't
And I mean, like
this, but they
between
might
the
like
two
Lubricant.
EPs, there's
Yeah, it's an
no one's gonna be
archetype.
surprised that Lubricant blows this one out of the water. But it's almost not fair to Pakeni because that's such
It's
a high
not
bar
fair.
to compare it to.
Yeah, Nookleptia is godlike. Nookleptia
Yeah.
is like one of the top. This is something that I like, and it's one of my favorites. But it's obviously not. It's not going to be winning any awards. Nobody's really going to like this. If you like this, then like
Well, it's like sort of
I,
like
I don't want to take all
it's-
that away from it though. Like it
it's-
is an accomplished EP. It is a good
good.
listen. It is a fun
It's
listen.
good.
Like
I
it-
wouldn't call it genius, but like there's not a hell of a lot to complain about on this. So
It's-
Yeah.
in that sense, it's still a winner. Like it's a great EP. It's a lot of fun to listen to. It's just not on the same level as Lubricant, and again, that's a really high bar to set, and that's not really fair
Totally.
either.
Yeah, because like with this, you can sort of have the argument of like this not being like. Well, I guess you can sort of say that this is like a worship kind of band of not just Lubricant but death and roll in general.
that scene in general, yeah.
Yeah,
From
and like
Finland. They obviously knew who those bands were.
yeah, and with a lot of those, you're gonna be more often than not liking the original more than the worship project of anything that you hear. So of course, this is gonna have a little bit more of a paling in comparison to the source of like Lubricant and Xysma and Convulse and stuff like that. But I think that they worshipped, but also built upon what was on the altar.
Definitely.
It wasn't like a blatant like what bands do with Wolverine Blues. It's not something like that where it's like, all right, we
I
heard
know
all
it-
this already there. Where
It's not even remote. It's not remotely bad. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the other one. It's the other band. Like it's the
In
other
this
band
sense,
that nobody
yeah,
talks
it is.
about.
Yeah. But yeah, what a fun couple picks that you got here. I'm glad we got some death and roll in here again because it is one of my favorite genres, and there's not much out there that can touch this in the genre and in metal in general or music.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, it's just very, like I said, in a time capsule of its own. Like, if this was made by or even if there was these bands rehashing this sound, it would not be the same.
No,
Like if same exact lineup,
they never are.
members.
The death metal bands that rehash it's never the same.
No, so it's like
No.
just like a perfect experimentation during that time, and that goes along with just the youth and times of like hippie stuff, just experimenting and stuff. And this is sort of what you get. It's very psychedelic, but in a more extreme way here. So it's just like, please, if you listen to this record, don't try to do anything like this. It's what are you gonna do? You're gonna sound like 6 Feet Under?
Don't do this. Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah.
Don't try this at home.